Alright, hey everybody. This is session, I don't remember, 12, maybe 13? I don't know, this chapter 4.
I don't know, I don't care.
It doesn't matter, it's fine, everything's fine. We're like way off script, so it doesn't matter what number session we're on. Before we get started, one thing I wanted to note, this has come up a couple times and I actually got around to doing it. The map of Cheliax that you see here, there's no grid on it, but the scale is accurate. So if you go to the measure tool now, and you draw a line between two cities, that's how many miles away they are.
Look at you.
Is that miles or kilometers?
They're miles.
Yeah.
And if
hectares or...
What?
No.
And if you hit space, just like when the move tool, you can add like bends in your path. So if you want to see like follow like the Bendy River or whatever around from Sonard or Louisiana, you can kind of get a feel for how far things are. In case that matters.
Simon's about 200 miles away.
So you guys were originally in Agorian, and you teleported to Sonara, which is like 330 miles away. And then Iwin is like another 330 miles in the mountains somewhere.
Is she where that arrow is? Because that would be helpful.
That arrow is Nero's fort that was taken over by the Glorious Reclamation. And he believes that Iwin is in the mountains somewhere around there. So throughout all these mountains, there are weird magic things. Like there was some sort of ancient history that Nero knows about where like basically god-level creatures fought in these mountains. And their magic is weird there. In some areas, magic doesn't work at all. In some areas, magic like of specific types is empowered. In some areas, there's like wicked magical storms that will kill you. And I forgot what questions you asked when you were divining. You were like, is it west of here? Is it west of here? And whatever. And you've kind of narrowed it down to probably somewhere over there. Yeah, so what else happened last session? What do you guys remember?
Is the recording started, by the way?
Yeah, I did that.
Oh. Shout out Brendan Johnson.
Damn. One of our 3 fans.
Number 1 fan. Yeah, one of our 3 fans.
He voted for you for MVP, I think, last session.
Yeah.
He loved Bob's prayer, so we're out here.
We're all fighting for Brendan's love.
Let's see who he prefers tonight. So what do you guys remember?
Anyhow.
Hey now.
Iwin was imprisoned, and Nero was in a shimmering stasis field. And we had the twins here to take care of business. And that's what they did. They went to the High District and bought scroll after scroll after scroll of Dispel Magic. After Bob failed hilariously with his hero point, and then they failed hilariously, 4 more times? 5 more times?
Was it that many? I thought it was 3.
I think that's right, yeah.
Oh, okay.
3 more times.
Bob is pouring.
3 more times. 3 more times. They figured out what the spell was by basically bumbling into it in the scroll shop.
We also invited people.
Yes, they invited a priest of Iomade.
He went to 2 different churches, and the first one he couldn't find anybody that could do it.
Second one he found somebody, and the guy couldn't do it. And
he tried, and he failed.
Yeah. And then they finally, Dern got a call from his handler, like, no, dog, I call, you come, that's how it is, get back here. So he buys a scroll of teleport, he buys 1 more Dispel Magic, and is like, all right, Bob, I got good news and bad news, which do you want first? Bob says, the bad news. And he says, well, good news is I got you the scroll of Dispel Magic. Bad news is I'm out of here. And then he poofed.
He didn't even wait to see. So he left. He teleported back to Agorian and didn't even wait to see if Bob could use the scroll. And Bob did use the scroll, and Nero came out of it. You succeeded. Now that you knew what the spell was, you rolled again, and you freed Nero. And immediately upon being frozen, Nero knew what the spell was. He's like, stepping a snake sigil! Like, he was reading the thing, and he realized he was getting bitten as he was being bitten. So he came out of his stasis, like, god damn it, he got me. And he asked you what was going on, and you recounted it, and you basically told him, yeah, so Dern walked around, and he got, like, the Church of Iomade to come here, and Nero's like, we're getting the fuck out of here right now. And he's like, he paid the guy at the inn, like, we were never here, here's like 20 gold or whatever it was, like, we were never here, goodbye. And you found another dingy tavern or inn to stay at. And so it's after sunset now. Dern went back to Agorian, and you met with your handler, Dern. And what did you do there?
Well, the first thing was I pre-negotiated another scroll of teleport and dispel magic, uh, assuming that I have to go back and break Nero free. And then I went down to the old courthouse. I believe that's what it is. And I was told, yeah, I was told to look for a person, probably a woman with one hand. And so I staked out the courthouse for a bit. Didn't really see anyone, but went into the tavern called I don't know.
The
I don't
Clerk's
remember.
Cloister. It's underneath.
That's right.
Like so, it's basically across the street from the courthouse. There's like some random bureaucracy type building, and underneath it they have a bar that is frequented by lawyers and such.
Right, right. And this bar is special because it has booths that are warded to contain the sound of conversations.
Mm-hmm.
And so Dern, basically not so skilled at this type of espionage, he walked around and just started asking about the woman with one hand. He bought a few people drinks until he barged into a conversation in one of the booths and learned that the person with one hand is a woman that typically comes around noon.
Mm-hmm.
So now he left off. Basically, I think he went back to the inn to rest for the day, and he'll come back tomorrow to stake the place out.
Okay. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. You got back, and Vors would be there. So again, Vors is he's been doing his own thing. So now he basically has a day and a half of time to make up. We're almost it's 2 full days now. I had planned to do a lot of that this session, but Chris is also not here again. So we're gonna figure that out when we figure it out, I guess. So that's fine. So you come back and you're gonna rest. And basically, this day is ending. So Nero and Bob, what would you do in the evening? I know Nero, you had a bunch of things that you were talking about you might want to do. So it's like basically nighttime in Sonara. What would you like to do?
I don't know. So he divined that was last night, or that is this night? The divining
that is tonight, and I think I'm not
okay,
sure
that's
you
fine.
asked the full 10 questions. I don't remember honestly though.
I think I went through them. I think I used it all to narrow it down.
Okay, fair enough. You can call it that.
But anyway, I was looking at rules on summoning. Interesting stuff for you, Joseph, that I will send your way.
Sounds dangerous.
Yeah.
Just more like limitations. I was thinking this would be make stuff too easy.
Oh, you pasted it in that thing.
Yeah, I can paste it wherever you want. Where you want it.
Discord is easier, but I'll just read it from here. A
Yeah.
summon monster cannot summon or otherwise conjure, or they can't teleport. Yeah, correct. Oh, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, I remember you saying something about that. Yeah, so you can't summon a Lantern Archon and teleport with it. Correct.
So I gotta bind one if
You
I
gotta
want
plain
to
or
do that.
bind one.
That's fine.
You
No
gotta
big
talk it
deal.
into it. You gotta bribe it.
I'm gonna use the divine version. Man. I want somebody that's line with my gold, son. I ain't trying to fight with nobody.
You're gonna ask the god for a buddy.
Hey, I need a non-violent teleportation messenger. Whoever you want to send me is fine. I prefer somebody that's on the good scale so they don't get blown up by the angel. Thanks.
Okay, so you're asking like one of your good gods, because again, the God Claw they have 5 gods in the little pantheon they made.
Yeah.
You could ask
Probably
for a buddy.
Yeah, probably Irory or Iomade or probably Torag actually, because then that way it's not you're not under their hierarchy, Iomade's hierarchy, which is probably what it would do.
True. The Church of Torag was in Cantaria. The dwarf there was a Torag priest.
And we killed her butt good.
You did kill her, but good. So do you have a thing specifically that you're looking to bind?
A Lantern Archon is pretty easy. Anything that basically is good and teleports is pretty much it. So
Lantern
I'll be
Archon
looking
is actually
to
really easy too. It's like a lesser plane binding.
Yeah, lesser. Yeah, that was the point.
Okay. So you still got to bribe it. It says offerings worth 500 gold pieces plus payment.
It's true.
Okay. So you found your place. You're hiding out, and you are now going to spark up some incense and ask Torag for a Lantern Archon.
Well, I don't have that spell, so I got to buy a scroll.
Oh, okay.
So I got to do that tomato. Yeah. Yes, correct.
Okay. So what would you like to do tonight?
Probably come out of our room at the inn and just see what we can hear about what's going on with the tieflings, and Nero will ply with coin if need be to find stuff like that.
Okay. Are you looking at bars or walking around town, or what are you trying to do specifically?
Well, it depends on, will Robert come with me?
Are you muted?
Michael?
I mean, yes, if you want me to, yes.
Yes, then we'll go out on the town a little bit, but not too wild.
Okay.
Just cover up and try not to look like ourselves.
We're getting fucked up.
Okay. You can make a stealth check or a disguise check, whichever you prefer to make.
I prefer a disguise check.
You too, Bobbert.
Yeah, no, I know.
That's pretty good.
Hell yeah. Starting off with the 20s. The dice are okay today.
Okay. So you're trying to make yourself look mostly either not like you or not to be seen.
Just cover up things that would conspicuously make me Nero.
Correct. Yes, obviously. Nero.
There's a lot of pale dudes in Sinara. That's fine.
It's true. So you're in the low district, and it is like getting late, but the low district kind of parties later than normal. It's that kind of a town. So you're just looking for a tavern? You're looking for a place to hang out?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. The first place you walk into is mostly human, as is true in Sonara. About a third of the population is tiefling. But you do see a good number of tieflings in the tavern. Are you specifically looking to talk to them, or just listening to conversations, or what are you doing?
He'll probably start out like listening in, and then just sort of edge in and find an entry on a conversation with a tiefling somewhere.
Okay.
So buy some drinks, settle up with Bob nearby, and then work my way in with them.
Okay. Toss me a perception and a diplomacy check.
You got it.
And Bob, what are you doing while he's doing these things?
Well, so Bob has basically been told by Nero in the last session to not be conspicuous. So pretty much just laying low and staying next to Nero.
Okay.
As best is not. I don't want to be seen.
you don't want to be seen. Okay. Make a perception check as well, Robert.
I don't like this already.
Zuby the Zubert.
I think you're okay at diplomacy, right? I think
You said perception.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, afraid you're not talking. Anyway. Yeah, so there's a bunch of conversations going on in the bar. Nero, you notice two things of interest. Bob, you don't really notice anything. The first thing of notice is that there is a group of 4 tieflings sitting at a table who sort of locked eyes on you as you entered the room and have basically been staring daggers at you the entire time you've been here. They're not talking, they're barely like muttering to each other, but like 2 of the 4 of them are basically like just staring you down. Additionally, you do hear one tiefling talking to a human, and they're talking about the Children of the Pit, which is something you saw on a sign, or you saw graffiti yesterday, or today, I guess it's still today. It's at one of the graffitis in the Low District, near all the other like a pro-tiefling graffiti, said, if you've had enough, join the Children of the Pit. And they're talking about them, just in vague generalities.
Okay. When they're staring daggers at me, do I get the feeling this is like a private club or something that I've wandered into?
No, you don't believe so. Based on the way everybody else is behaving, you don't think this is like, it's not like a tavern, like specific to any group or anything like that. No.
So Nero will just try and get in with the kids who are talking about the Children of the Pit.
Okay. Dern's giving me music. Town Square Daytime. Now let's use one of the tavern ones. I got stuff. I got tavern music.
Trying to help you, know?
Yeah, thanks. I'd be a good GM if I had music, if it's true. Let's do the Sweetest Drop Tavern from way back when.
Ooh.
Bust out the video unavailable. Ah, come on, come on. It's killing me, guys. Okay, do I really not have any more tavern music? God.
Ooh.
D&D house music.
All right, yeah. So you get there,
Oh.
and so you're kind of approaching the people talking, or are you?
Yeah. He'll slide in and sort of like slide in sort of a smooth fashion. He'll finish a non sequitur or be interested in what they're talking about, and just, I'm new in town. I've heard about this.
Mhm.
What's going on? That sort of thing.
Yeah. So as you slide in, the human, I gotta say, it's a tiefling talking to a human. The human is basically saying that, I don't know, it seems like they're causing more trouble than any good they'll do. And the tiefling's kind of shaking his head. And then you kind of just butt up into it, and you come in and say that. And the tiefling looks up and says, what have you heard about them?
I just heard that I heard that the reclamation had something to do with some tiefling's death, and that the other tieflings are rising up. And I've heard they haven't been treating you very well, which is odd considering you live here.
The
For
human butts in.
Good movement.
Yeah, the human butts in and says, they've been treating you fine! And he gestures to the tiefling, and the tiefling kind of like, you can see, like, he doesn't smirk, he kind of like scowls a little bit.
Yeah, that's about what I thought.
Yeah, so the guy says, I don't know, it seems that certain tieflings are getting along well with them, but they don't care about people here in the low districts.
Yeah, that seems about the way it is. I mean, the whole thing's based on theft, isn't it?
He looks at you, so what do you mean?
The whole movement, the whole, Heart's Edge, all that, they just stole that from the God Claw, right? And that's how this whole thing started?
And the human looks at you curious and says, what do you mean? It's Iomede's sword.
It's Iomede's sword that nobody had seen, and then suddenly the God Claw has it, and you just come and steal it, because that's what a good person would do?
He looks at you, he's confused. What do you mean? It's their sword. They're the church. They're Iomade. And he looks at the tiefling like, are you going to back me up here? And the tiefling just puts his hands up.
So you're a church, right? You lose something from your church. You lose it for thousands of years. Somebody else finds it and says it's theirs, so you can just go steal it from them? That's fine?
He looks at you curiously and pauses for a moment, just kind of running the math of that in his head. And he says, it's a holy relic! And he looks at you like you're crazy for even suggesting this.
Who owns that holy relic?
The church? And he looks at his friend again, and his friend is like kind of just chuckling now at this point.
They did a great job taking care of it, didn't they? Just fucking losing it somewhere, huh?
It's like that was House Narcopolis' fault.
So, if you lose if you dropped a bag of silver on the street, and he picks it up 10 days later, he's beholden to find you and give it back to you? Oh, that was your bag of silver.
He takes that in, and you're making a persuasive argument. He says, but that's silver. It's not like... He's like, what if he found your child? Would he be beholden to give it back?
I don't think a sword's... I think your argument is... Well, we could debate this all day. We probably shouldn't talk religion in the bar. But, I don't think comparing a child to a sword is the same. But
and he agrees with you in principle, but he states, it's a holy relic. And he begins to get into the minutia of wearing the gamut of silver to a child is a holy relic that a god literally handed to a person.
Don't the God Claw revere Iomade?
He shakes and says, I don't know, do they?
I think so. Anyway, long story short, Children of the Pit, tell me more. Hey, while I've got you, is it me? Are the guys at that table giving me the stink eye?
Both the tiefling and the human look over, and they quickly look back.
Look.
No, they did. You stopped them, but they definitely did. They're a little drunk and not very good at being subtle, I guess. And so they both look, and they both quickly look back, and they say, yeah, those guys are bad news, and they're definitely giving you the stare.
Who are they?
The tiefling begins to talk, but the human interrupts him and talks over. Says, thugs, mindless thugs. Stay away from those guys.
Okay. Anyway, So yeah, tell me what else you've heard.
The human again talks over the tiefling, and the tiefling seems kind of like a quieter person, and kind of just lets it happen. He lets himself get steamrolled by this human, and the human just like again, they're just a bunch of ruffians. They're here. They're causing problems. They think they can start something. They think they can finish. I don't know. It's like they're causing problems here. They think the Glorious Reclamation is treating them badly. They think they can do things better. They're talking about making Sonara like run by tieflings, if you could believe that.
But I mean, the army's gone that I can see. Like, I came here, a couple of months ago, and it was like tight as a drum, and now it's like a tenth, maybe.
Yeah, the tiefling nods and says, "Yeah, most of the army left about a week and a half ago. I don't know where, but they made a big procession out of the south gate."
Crazy. I'm gonna have to ask around and see where they went.
He shrugs. He says, "I don't know. No one's heard anything, but they definitely left in force. I don't know how many people are left, but enough. Like there's definitely been scuffles between tieflings and Glorious Reclamation soldiers in the past few days."
I mean, so you're a tiefling. I mean, are those guys part of it? Is that what that is? Like, what's?
He shrugs. Says, "I'm not a part of it, so I don't know, but maybe." They're petty thugs, and I heard that the Children of the Pit are recruiting petty thugs, so possibly.
I mean, if you want to start a violent revolution, you get people who are good at violence to start, right?
He nods.
Interesting. I think there'd be a lot of people who, I think a lot of people could make a lot of progress in the outside world, like the empire around us, if they were open to support, you know what I mean? Like a patron from wherever, West Crown, Agorian, any of those places would, somebody would make big leaps and bounds for a little support from a patron like that.
The tiefling is nodding along, you say, and the human seems very, nonplussed when you said that. He's like, "What do you mean the empire around? What are you talking about?" And then you mentioned Agorian, and he says, I certainly hope that doesn't happen.
So, but I mean, imagine one rich guy, right, sends in one whatever that can teleport anything. What's one that can teleport? An imp or something like that? And he just teleports in and out carrying supplies over and over and over again?
The tiefling seems interested as you're saying this, and the other guys, he shakes his head. Like that's what's wrong with the empire. That's what's wrong with so much wealth in the hands of so few. That's what the Glorious Reclamation is trying to stop.
The Glorious Reclamation is not trying to stop that. I'm sorry, they freed all the halflings that were living in nice houses, and they're all living in barracks like orphans. That's what freedom is. Hey, you're free. Go fend for yourself.
The halfway houses are supported by the church.
Yeah, and from what I understand, and from talking to some halflings, they live in squalor. They live in filth.
What would they do if they were alone in the manors for months or years?
I don't know, but I don't think you take people who are used to high living and throw them on the streets and hope that they survive. It's not going to be pretty.
He says they're not on the streets. They're in the halfway houses. Like they're fed, they're clothed, they're taken care of.
Right.
he seems.
Hey, does that sound good to you? Nero says to the tiefling.
And says it's not me. He kind of shrugs like, "I'm not in that position, but I ain't much better."
Interesting. Yeah, I just think there's a lot of, especially with the army being out, there's a lot of moves to be made. There's a lot of people who could make a lot of moves.
Yeah, the tiefling takes a big swig of his ale and says, "Nobody gives a fuck about the tieflings, but the tieflings."
Well, I mean, I don't know that the tieflings have ever had the sort of leverage they're going to have now.
He shrugs. He says, I don't know. It seems like they're swinging above their belt here. I don't know that these dreams are too big.
Certainly might be. Okay, so knowing that this is just conjecture and rumor, Nero will send drinks over to the rough fellows and just be schmoozing around other people trying to like make ends with the tieflings and see what he can hear.
Okay. You send over the drinks, and do you like gesture or do anything?
He just nods and sort of like whatever he thinks won't get him shanked by people in prison, because he knows some people in prison.
Let me tell you about prison.
Yeah.
However he would send drinks over to what was our hobgoblin friend's name?
Oh,
The first one. Anyway, however he would send drinks over to a table full of that dude.
Yeah, I wish I remembered his name. He called you Little Mouse. I forgot what his name was. That sucks. I keep thinking of Bruthasmus from Rise of the Runelords.
It's something like that, but yeah.
Anyway, yeah, okay. Make a diplomacy check, because you're you, though. You'll be fine.
I won't get shanked, probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bad, but...
Yeah. So you send the drinks over, and 3 of them raise the mug back at you and take a swig. One of them seems not impressed at all, and he takes the ale and actually pours it out on the side of the table.
Nero laughs and gestures to him anyway.
Yeah, and the 3 other ones basically, like, one of them slaps the guy on the chest and is, like, just kind of mocking him, like, you didn't have to do that, it's free beer. But yeah, that one guy seems, like, determined to hate you. But the other 3 have kind of eased up a bit.
Okay. Well, Nero will schmooze around and see if there's any inns with that area, if anyone... Or if they just keep staring death at him. Does he recognize anyone?
Make a perception check?
Sure.
No, you don't recognize any of these tieflings in the bar.
Okay.
And so are you approaching that specific table, or are you just talking to more tieflings in the room, or...?
He'll move around, but, like, it'll be sort of in that area so that, you know, he can eventually get snagged.
Okay. So you talk to a couple more tieflings, and are you talking specifically about the Children of the Pit, or anything in general?
He just talks about the state of the city in general, getting their opinion, you know, and when it eventually comes around to the Children of the Pit, he'll be interested in it, but he's sort of smoothing his way into it. Okay.
Yeah, so the overall opinion is that things are not great in Sonara. You get a mix, myriad of opinions, basically. Some people think, it's slightly better. Some people think it's just worse. And some people say that Lowtown or the Low District has always been shit. Like, this isn't the High District down here. This is life is just shit down here, and it's always been shit. It's always going to be shit. But especially when you talk to tieflings in particular, they are all sounding like it's worse now. Now that Thrun's gone, things are definitely worse. And you definitely feel this undercurrent of, like, the Glorious Reclamation is not as welcomed here as they may have been even as early as last week, and it's certainly less than the High District and other areas. And when the Children of the Pit come up, you get, again, most people just are saying that they're kind of like their thugs are causing problems. Every time they do something, the Glorious Reclamation comes down hard in the area. And they're never, like, overly violent with civilians or anything like that, but, like, they basically shake people down. Like, they're trying to get to the bottom of this, and they're being a bit aggressive about it sometimes. So people just mostly say they want to be left alone, but you do get some grumblings of, like, this is bullshit, and, we should be running the show here. Like, this has been going on too long.
Okay. Any motioning from the table?
The guy is still staring at you. That one guy does not like you at all, but the 3 other ones seem to have warmed up to you a bit, and they see you kind of making the rounds. They don't gesture you over, they don't call you over or anything like that, but you're trying to do anything in particular?
I suppose he'll just, I suppose he'll get close and basically, like, he'll pull something like, I didn't mean to offend you. What should I send over? I don't want to offend the hardest men in the room.
And the guy that dumped your beer says, we don't need anything from you, human.
No, I don't think you do. I'd just rather you did. I'd just rather if the bar gets broken up and you start breaking faces, you don't break mine in particular.
And he says, all you have to do is walk out of here. That's all you gotta do to not get your face broken. Just he points to the door. Just walk out of here.
Fair enough.
You're gonna get jumped.
I mean, maybe, but you're a big thug of a guy, and they think that I'm nothing. Anyway,
so Nero will basically try to engage the table a little bit, and just basically be like, you know, I think this thing that's going on, I think this rising up is long overdue, and he's being flatly honest. So I've always thought tieflings were getting ground down, and I don't think it's fair. But, you know, I was hoping, when I heard about the Glorious Reclamation, I'd heard that people would get better treatment, but it doesn't seem like that's the way. It seems like it's the same or worse.
And so you see the two of the guys at the table are kind of like nodding along. They seem to believe you because you're being honest. And one of them, like, again, claps the guy next to him on the shoulder, like, come on, he seems all right. But he seems completely unmoved. And you hear one of the other guys refer to him as Ermus, U-R-M-U-S, Ermus.
Okay.
Like, calm down, Ermus. Like, what's wrong with, like, what do you got against this guy? What's going on? And Ermus is just unmoved and barely, like, muttering responses to his friends. He's not really responding well.
Well, anyway, I don't want to take up your time, but, you know, I think with very minimal support from the outside that what's going on could happen just fine.
And he looks up at you and says, what does that cost? What do the tieflings pay for that?
You know, I don't know. But imagine seizing power in this place. Imagine snatching this away. Imagine the reward that the Empire would bestow on the people who did that.
He scoffs when you say the Empire, and he says, yeah, some other Thruni noble will come here and claim that this is theirs now.
Maybe, and you'll be the one that handed it to him.
He scoffs and says, I'm not handing shit to anybody anymore.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's a good way to be. Well, you know, nobody does anything on their own anymore. It's just everybody needs support. We all stand on somebody's shoulders to get where we are.
He doesn't seem to agree with that. He scoffs. It's not how we do things down here. We'll be just fine.
Fair enough.
As you're talking, a small tiefling girl runs into the bar. Far too young to be at a bar, even in this medieval era. And she runs over and she grabs one of the guys at the table and like kind of just pulls on his cloak, and they go a little bit away for a moment. Would you like to eavesdrop at all, or are you just gonna let that?
If I can, but you know, I don't want to. Are you
gonna move over in that direction, or are you just gonna stay where you are and listen?
He'll move a little bit, but sort of like whatever. He's not gonna get his face punched in for being here, so he'll just.
Okay, make another perception.
Listen a little bit.
Sure.
Probably not.
Yeah, you don't hear what they're saying, but you do see that the guy seems like he kind of snaps to attention. Like he was getting a little, not drunk, but buzzed, and he was definitely having like a good time, and your words have kind of soothed him a little bit. But whatever this little girl has told him, he's like snapped like attention like a soldier or a guard. And he walks over to the table and just slaps everybody on the shoulders. Says, "Get up, we're going." And everybody, including Ermus, begins to walk out of the tavern.
Hey, wait.
It turns back to you.
Just one moment. Do you guys need to be sober for what you're doing right now?
Ermus shakes his head no, and the other ones kind of look at each other like probably yes.
If you can wait a moment, I can make it so you're
not going to have trouble. Is that okay?
Ermis seems like he's going to disagree, but the other guys nod before he can object.
So basically, Nero will get them somewhere where he can cast without making a ruckus, whether that's like getting into a back room or somebody letting him into someplace, and he'll basically cast Restoration on the dudes that want it to like...
Sure. Yeah, Ermis is not taking it, but the other three will.
That's fine.
And you take out your holy symbol, and it's like a god quality symbol, or what is it?
Well, he's got like a pile of holy symbols, basically. He doesn't really need a holy symbol to cast, but he just like...
You're not like a cleric, I guess. That's true.
No. But he's got literally one of every holy symbol for all the gods. So anyway, he just casts on them and, sends them on their way.
Yeah, if you take an Asmodean one out, that's even better. Like, that they would be very comfortable with that as devils themselves. People. So yeah, so you pull out a Asmodean holy symbol, and you can see that some of them are actually like, oh, and like they clicks now. That like that's why you're talking the way that you're talking. But Ermus does not seem to care at all. But yeah, so you undrunkify 3 of them with your lesser restorations. And they thank you, and they clap you on the shoulder as they walk past, but this one guy does not like you at all.
Yeah, see you guys around.
Yep, and they storm out of the tavern.
Do they need support? I guess you guys don't need support, yeah?
They walk past you, they're gone already.
Okay, that's fine. Anyway, that's a good thing to know.
Bob, you watch all this happen. Nero's carousing with people. This one guy was just staring daggers at him the entire time, and basically, like even you could tell, even if you didn't hear it, like he's just talking shit back to Nero. And then a little girl runs in the bar, talks to one of them, and they all storm out, and like they stomp like soldiers.
Okay.
You want to do anything, or are you just drinking at the bar?
Bob's just having a drink.
Okay.
All right, man, let's get. Unless there's heads to be broken.
There are always heads to be broken.
So let's head outside. Maybe we'll get a glimpse of where they went, but...
Are you looking to follow them?
Maybe that general direction, but he wouldn't be like trudging after them quickly or anything.
Okay. So you exit the bar, and you do see that they're moving north.
Okay.
You do notice that.
So I will head north with them.
Okay. How far behind them would you like to stay, and are you trying to be hidden?
I imagine that they're moving at a pretty nice hustle, and no, he's not trying to hide.
Okay. Yeah, they are.
But standard pace, they can hustle.
Okay. That urban tracking thing Boris had would be useful.
Yes, of course.
Are you letting them out of your sight, or are you trying to keep up with them so you can always see where they are?
He'll try to reasonably keep an idea of where they are, but he's not gonna run after them or jog or make a lot of noise or.
Okay.
Butt his nose in. If they wanted him, they'd ask him. As soon as he did that.
Okay. So go ahead and make a survival check, and Bob,
Ooh.
you can also make one, Bob. Zubert of Bobbert.
Bob knows the way around survival, so...
Yeah? Oh. Yeah, so basically, as they're making turns and stuff in the alleyways, you lose sight of them briefly, but you have a pretty good idea of what's going on, so you're actually able to keep up with them. You lose some time, but you're a ways behind them, and you catch them meeting up with another group of tieflings. So now there's like 6 of them, or 8 of them.
Okay.
Are you going to continue to follow them?
Nero's gonna basically look for an inn or something in the area, an inn, a tavern, something like that, and to just get in that area, get in someplace there,
Okay.
and see what he can see and hear.
Okay. You get into the tavern, and they just continue on. They continue going north again. Like they met up, they talked briefly, and then they continue going north.
Where are we staying?
Somewhere down here. I'll just put a purple dot or something. Say.
And where were we staying before? Closer to the Hydrus, probably?
Yeah, you were staying. We'll just call it there. Sure.
I don't see anything.
It's too. Oh, I'm drawing on the hidden layer. I'm the best. So let's say you were staying here, and now you're somewhere like over here.
Okay.
X for the old one. X.
So basically, let's do a. We'll do like a little bar crawl and then head back.
Okay.
Beep beep beep. You know.
Yeah. So yeah, you do a couple bar crawls, and you essentially can't keep up with them. So they're hustling pretty quickly, and you're taking your time in the taverns, and they.
Yeah, just basically if there was explosive violence, I'd want to.
Yeah. Yeah. You haven't seen what happens.
It's fine.
So you're heading back home to the inn.
Yeah.
Are you doing anything else tonight?
No. I've already got the halflings going to look into the stuff tomorrow, see what's going on in the High District.
Okay.
That's it, I think.
All right. So, jumping to here. Iwin, you have already lost track of days. It doesn't even matter if you make a survival check at this point because you already, you have no idea how long you've been here.
Yeah.
And so it's darkness, and you've been trying to rest as much as you can. And the same, eventually the glowing disc comes. And let's say, let me flip a coin here. I gotta click on a person when I do that. That's stupid. You're awake when this happens. So, so your guardian comes over the edge, and you see the glowing disc in the front. And he looks over again at you. And we did the note thing last time, so he says, last time you asked me if I believed you were guilty of these crimes, and now I do.
Oh, what's changed?
He says there are witnesses, and they have sworn under compulsion of truth to witness you murdering a Canis.
Okay. And there's no way that those accusations could be false?
He ponders that for a moment, and again he has this weird, alien, unblinking, glowing eyes. And he says, it is possible, but unlikely.
Well, what if I did something to, I guess, prove my innocence in a way? Or to, let me put it to you like this. I'm sure by this time you've probably captured Nero, recovered the books. Your people weren't able to, crack the code of those books. I know you want to. We can. So I'll do that for you. And that should be evidence enough that, that should be evidence enough that it would be inconsistent with killing the angel.
And again, he takes us in for a moment, and he just stares at you blinklessly for a while. And he says, one of your suppositions is incorrect. We have not captured your friend. The books are missing. He has absconded with them.
Oh. That's surprising. Well, do you feel like you'll be able to get them soon?
He says, hopefully. That is already underway.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'd also be willing to... I don't know if you would believe me, but I'd be willing to go back and crack the code with Nero and then bring that information to you if you would set me free.
And you're being sincere in that?
Yes, she's being 100% sincere.
Okay, make a diplomacy check, and he asks you would share the information for what?
Hold on, let me do my diplomacy check to see how I'm going to answer this. Yeah. What do you mean for what? You'd be letting me go? I feel like I would, owe you for letting me go.
He looks at you curiously and ponders again and says, sharing implies we both have the information. It's only useful to one.
It's not useful to you?
It's only useful to one of the two of us.
I don't understand what you mean.
He looks at you and he tilts his head and he says, what do you think the tomes describe?
I assume that they have to do with closing the gate, right?
He looks at you and you're being sincere in that as well?
That's what Jeff, think, so...
Oh. Yeah, so he looks at you and he sighs. He says, no, they don't. And you can see that he looks dejected. He says, I'm not sure you would be able to decipher the tomes then if that's what you believe they were about.
I mean, I would quickly realize that they weren't. I can decipher the tomes. I don't think that's a problem. Well then, now I'm confused. Why would you want them and why would your people be deciphering them if that's not what they were for?
He doesn't even pause when he says, if you don't know what they're for, I'm certainly not going to be the one to tell you.
Well, either way, my offer stands. If you want what's in them, I think your best bet is with me.
He thinks about that, and then he comes back and says, and you can contact this Nero?
Well, not at the moment, obviously, but if I'm able to use my magic, I'm able to contact this Nero, yes.
He pauses for a long moment thinking about that. And all I have for this is your word?
Can I offer anything else?
And he pauses before saying, the word of a murderer.
Of an accused murderer.
You see him kind of move his head back and forth as if he's fairly certain you've done it. He seems convinced, at least.
I know you can... angels of your type can typically suss out truth. Like, take as long as you need. I'm being honest. I plan to give you the information if you let me go. And I truly believe I can crack the code. I wouldn't have come to the books if I didn't believe that.
Compelling argument. You rolled a very good diplomacy check. I'm pretty sure. Okay. Yeah. He says, I will confer with the others. I will be back soon. And he begins to move away, and when he does that, the light begins to dim. Are you going to say anything before he disappears?
I think it's probably wise not to. So no.
And then he poofs, and you are left in darkness again. All right. So the night's going to end now. I'm going to go back to Gorian to check in with Dern. Got to juggle so everybody gets some time. Are you there, Mr. Shirag? 1 second. Okay. So, Bob, did you want to do anything that night? You were just kind of hanging out with Nero and not doing much?
No, anything that I'm going to do is either going to get me, Nero, me or Nero murdered or really murdered.
Where's the guy who randomly wandered out and killed 6 direwolves? Where's that guy? 4 direwolves.
I almost died every session we played in the last 3 sessions.
So you'll do
now I'm out of money as a result of the last one.
All right, Dern.
So unless those direwolves got some gold.
Yeah. So, Dern, you went back to Lawgiver's Rest, and you're resting there for the night. Is there anything you want to do at Lawgiver's Rest?
I'm not sure if Dern said this last time, but he would ask Vors or Maggie, if he's there, to start transcribing the books. Because I know the books are there. So I don't know if they've been doing that, or if I asked for that, or I don't know.
I don't think you asked that specifically of them, but yeah, they can. So I don't think Vors would copy books. I don't think that. I think it's beneath him. I'm gonna make that call for Vors.
No, it'd be more like, can you like get people to do this, basically?
Oh yeah. Yeah, Vors would know. So first off, Maggie would volunteer unless she has no idea where her master is, and she asks you profusely if you have any idea. Have you found Iwin? Do you know where she is?
He says, "Yeah, I'm not sure. I guess they're looking for her. I don't know. I'm in the middle of something, and I'll go figure that out. But I know that."
She was like flustered when you say that. She's like, I can't go back alone. I'm stuck here. I'm stuck here with no one.
He said, listen. Like, as long as we're here, and he like points to Voris, you're taken care of. I think, if you want to keep yourself busy, copy these books, and Ivan would really appreciate it.
And she's like, I have no idea who you are.
Yeah, I'm Dern.
She's like, yes. And you watch it. She's like, and she's flustered and frustrated. She says, "You're sure Iwan would think this valuable, copying these books?"
Oh yeah. We went through hell to get those books.
Okay. So she says that basically, like, she can begin copying them, and if it's that important, she can have scriveners from the Asmodean Church support. If Vors would donate some money to the church, he could get that if you think that's wise.
Yeah. Vors, pay the man or woman or thing.
The infant female bug thing. Yeah. So Vors will. I'll make a note here. I'll add it to the Discord. We have a loot room now, right? So I'm gonna say minus $dollars to pay scriveners Asmodeus to copy tomes. Okay, and so they're fairly detailed books, and they're like very specific arcane procedures. So even Durham would think it would probably take a while, and it has to be like exacting, because if you copy down the runes wrong, it's worthless. But you still want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'll take a note to do that. And anything else during the night?
No.
Okay.
I would love more money. Like,
what are you gonna do for money?
if someone, I don't know. We have like this pile of loot. I'll just draw. I guess I'll draw down on it.
Do you have the loot, or does someone else have it, like in one of those magic bags?
No, I think we left it with Vors in the inn.
Oh, then you can probably sell it. You know what did you have? What was of note in it?
It was like a whole bunch of crap. It's just so I can walk around.
How much
more
money do you need? Yeah, I'm trying to see what it is. I see plus 2,200 gold pieces. Did you already use that, or? I think we gave that to you. I think we counted that as something you had. That sounds.
Yeah, I think we did. That does sound familiar.
Yeah, but there is like a +1 composite longbow, which you could probably sell pretty easily.
Yeah, I'll ask Boris to sell that for me.
Yeah, Boris can do that. Not now because it's nighttime, but he can get like 1,000 gold for that, basically. So
okay,
if
that's good enough.
If you
Yeah,
like 1,000 gold of pocket money, he'll front you the money and tell you that yeah. So
yeah, okay.
Boris to sell a +1 composite longbow, +2 strength. Fronts Dern 1,000 gold pieces for it. Okay, so you have 1,000 gold in your pocket, and
the other 1,000 from before.
Sure. And the night will pass.
Okay.
Yeah, and you skipped dinner because you were out stalking that thing all night, so you didn't see anything that happened with Lavasvia or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the morning happens. So this is now Friday morning. And Dern, what would you like to do on Friday morning?
So I'll go back to Hellhound Hill, and I'll basically take elevated position to watch both the courthouse and the cloister.
Uh-huh.
And I will eye carefully for the one-handed woman.
Okay. So toss me a perception check.
Yes.
And a stealth check. And you get a big bonus secretly because you're hiding. Yeah. So you have a pretty good spot.
Ooh.
And you... Does she come today? Where's my button? That's my button. She does come today. So yeah, so you're hanging out there, and pretty much like just shortly after noon, you see somebody. They don't walk from the courthouse. You kind of had the impression this person was a lawyer based on the code name, the barrister. But you see someone coming from the east. So you're over here, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So you're over here, and you see somebody coming in from over here. And it's very clearly she's dressed in pretty fine attire and has one hand. And let me see if I have a handout for her. But you very clear with a perception check like that, even though you're kind of far away, you do see a one-handed woman entering the clerk's cloister. You're being very, like, you're watching very closely the people going in and going out, and you can show handout. So she is dressed in the black and gold robes. She's got a holy symbol around her neck that you can't really tell. She's got like a very big necklace you can't see from far away. But she's very clearly is a one-handed woman walking into the place you were told a one-handed woman to walk into.
Okay. I will follow after.
Okay, so you're going to go into the clerk's cloister?
Yeah.
All right.
I'll try and walk in at the same time as someone else.
Okay. So we're on this map. And you're going to walk in. And when you get in, the one-handed woman is at the bar talking to the barkeep. And you're going to walk in with somebody else. I don't really have a somebody else, so I'm just going to grab Alfio. It's not actually Alfio. It's Alfio 1. Just clone. Yeah, so somebody else is walking in, and this guy walks in, and you see him walk over to a table immediately and begin talking to someone there as if it was a client. And you walk in about the same time, and what do?
I'll walk to the long table here, and as I walk in, I'll just motion to the bartender for a drink or 2 drinks, whatever, and I'll go sit at the long table and begin to drink and observe.
Sure. So there's barmaids meandering around the room, so you kind of wave one over, and you're getting 2 drinks, you said, or 1?
2, just 2.
Okay. Yeah, so she comes over, and she takes your order, and she'll be back. So the bar kind of specializes in the dark ales of a nearby region, and also they have Chilexian wine because nobles love wine. But you're ordering beer? Okay, so it's lovely craft beer. So she goes away for a while, and she comes back with it. And you also see there are 3 or 4 different halfling servers moving around, and they're mostly bringing food. So they've got like chickens and like simple fare, but they're bringing it around to all the tables. And you watch as they move like almost silently and unnoticed throughout the room. Like people don't even acknowledge their existence, all the lawyers and stuff in this room.
Okay, just to clarify, my orders were just to watch and to see who she associates with, right?
Yeah, you basically want to sniff this out. So they told you that there is the Bellflower Network, the abolitionist society in Cheliax, basically, is active in Agorian. And this lady is believed to be associated with it. So they don't want you to just snap her neck because they don't know enough about it. So they basically want you to figure out what's going on, who does she talk to, and see if you can dig up any more dirt on the organization.
Okay. Yeah, I'll carry on it still.
Okay. She's talking to the bartender. Go ahead and give me a perception check. Oh, that's good. It's very good.
Pretty good, darn.
You watch as she orders a drink. She orders a glass of wine, and he puts down like a napkin to put the wine on, and you notice, because you rolled very well, that he has slid something under the napkin.
Hmm. Hmm. I'll motion over one of the halflings.
Yeah, so this halfling over here, he just ran like a chicken over to this table, and you wave him over, and he comes over, and he says, "Sir," and he's looking like down. He's not even looking directly at you.
He says, "Look at me."
He does reluctantly. He looks up and then looks back down, and then slowly comes back up.
And he says, "We'll be free one day, but that's not why you're here." He says, "How often does she come in?"
And he looks over and he says, "The one-handed woman?
Mm-hmm.
2-3 times a week?"
Same days every week?
Shakes his head, no. Always at lunch, though.
And what does she typically do? And he pulls out the currency below gold.
Silver.
Yeah.
He looks at you like kind of shocked and surprised. And he says she sits at the bar. She has lunch. Always orders a glass of wine.
And then leaves.
And then leaves, yeah.
And only talks to the bartender.
Sometimes talks to other people too, but usually talks to the bartender, yeah.
Okay. All right. Good enough. He gives him another silver.
Okay.
And he says, this was just between us."
So he nods. You gave him 2 silver. He's really happy about that. He
Yeah.
nods, and he runs away. During that, I didn't know it off the top of my head, but when he tells you that she talks to the bartender, he mentions his name. Let me see if I have the name of the bartender. Come on. His name is Belnost. Belnost. The barkeeper's named Belnost. He says, "Yeah, she talks to Belnost all the time."
Okay.
You want to do anything else? Your leg and shrug? You want to do anything else?
Yeah, is it good? It's good?
You good? You're good? Yeah, you're kind of blurry, but I hear you. You want to do anything else
Okay.
or no?
Okay. No, he'll just watch. He'll observe.
Okay. And the one-handed woman basically does what he said. So she's finishing a small lunch, and she finishes her wine. And you watch as she takes the napkin and whatever was under it, and she kind of just pockets it. And
Okay.
then she gets up and begins to walk out of the place.
He'll follow her out on the other side.
Okay.
He'll leave his money and whatever, pay his bill, and then
Sure.
follow her.
Yeah, it's only a couple. It's coppers for beer, so it's like nothing. You're throwing silvers around like nobody's business.
Yeah.
So you leave the thing, and you are doing what exactly?
I'm just gonna follow her from a distance
Okay.
and
How
see where
far
she
of a
goes.
distance?
Probably 100 feet. I think that's not weird.
Yeah, that's not weird, and that's close enough that you could probably keep up with her reasonably.
Yeah.
The alleyways here are not as kind of narrow as the ones that Naz was pursuing in the Lotus Rift scenario. So you give me a survival check just to see if you fail horribly.
Oh, I think I'm okay at that.
Well,
Oh,
let's
yeah.
see what you got. It's all good. Yeah,
Move myself.
it's fine.
Show me what you got.
I want to see. Yeah, that's good enough here. Yeah, because you're close enough. So basically, you watch as she walks over to the Whipcrack district, and you're following pretty close behind her. And the Whipcrack district is basically an open air slave market. It's the biggest slave market in Agorian. They sell halflings a dime a dozen here, pretty much. And you watch as she goes there, and she goes close to basically they have not a stage, I don't know what you really call it, but basically where they auction off slaves. Like they put them on the stage and they talk about them. This one's house trained. This one's really strong. And most of the slaves are halfling. Not all, but the vast majority are halfling slaves. And they begin auctioning a bunch of them off. And she begins barking on the side, basically saying that she has pre-written contracts ready. If anybody here is looking to buy a slave and needs a pre-written contract, like here, and she's basically gesturing as if she's got like a full like briefcase full of contracts.
Okay. It's like, is she associating with anyone there, or just going around?
No, she's not talking to anybody specific. She's basically just walking around near all the auction, and there's a bunch of these stages. Like, there's a bunch of auctions going on. It's like, again, an open-air market. It's not just like one stage where they're doing one slave at a time. She's walking around just saying, contracts, pre-made contracts here. And she's like, you know, whatever, Agorian approved, blah, blah, blah. Like, basically, like these are legal contracts that, you know, you can save time. You don't have to hire your own lawyer. Basically, these will, you know, these are good. So she's walking around kind of just trying to sell these, and she's getting good business. It seems like, you know, she's done business here before, and she's getting some people to come up and, you know, inquire about her services.
It would be weird, me as a halfling buying halflings, right?
Not especially. I mean, a little bit, but not really. Like, there are halflings that own halflings. If you're free, you can buy halflings.
Okay, sweet. All right, yeah, I'm going over.
Okay. So you're going up to her while she's barking, like waving her contracts in the air?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
she turns and she looks at you, and she sees that you are like a well-dressed halfling with a weapon on his back.
He said, "Hello."
Hello. How may I help you?
Hi. What's your name?
That'd be smart for Joe to know, right?
I'm sorry.
Let's see.
You can just call her like Whipgate.
No, she's got a real name. It's just I'm just the worst Jim in the world. Her name is Maisel, Maisil, Maisel.
Okay.
Which is I'm Maisel, and you?
Dern.
And she looks around and says, "Not often you see a free halfling in Whipcrack."
Sometimes you need slaves.
Oh, are you buying?
Well, I mean, yeah. Tell me about what you do. I'm just trying to figure that out.
She says, "Oh, well, you know the bureaucracy of Cheliax. You know, you have to legally prove you own slaves, transfer the title of ownership, things of that nature. It's sometimes easier to just have pre-made forms. You can make a pretty penny just copying the same text over and over again and selling them to people here."
Oh, yeah. Good point.
She says, most of this is just boilerplate anyway. It's the same for every slave. You just fill in the name here and the previous owner here and have them all sign, and easy money.
Okay. Yeah, how much is one?
I don't know. I'm gonna say gold. Seems high, but I'm gonna say gold.
Oh, just gold. Okay, yeah. I think I can muster that. Here.
And so a halfling costs 25 gold. Like a regular, like normal, like laborer type halfling is 25 gold, and depending on their skills, they can be more money than that. So a gold is like not like if you're buying slaves, you have gold. Yeah. So she hands you one, and she asks like, are you buying more than one at a time? And she gestures like, I have separate contracts if you're doing bulk buys.
I'm just gonna start with one around here, see the quality, you know. But if I need more, where's your office?
She shakes her head. I don't have an office. I work out of here. I'm barking all day.
So you sleep here too? You live here?
And she's no, of course not. No. And she's like, I have a residence in Hellhound Hill, but it's not an office.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, yeah. Well, I'll take one. I'll buy one, and then I guess like how do I see you again? Do you come here every day?
I'm here most days. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, thanks.
She nods and says, "Good hunting. I hope you find someone you like."
Yeah, we'll see. And he'll like walk off, browse the slaves or however they're displayed.
Yeah.
And then he'll disappear into the alleyway and then continue to watch her.
Okay. She stays there barking for several hours. She's basically she seems to be selling these contracts. Darren's gonna buy a life here.
Darren
You're
is
mine
gonna buy a
now.
life.
You can't run away. I'll find you. So this lady's just walking around barking, and she seems again to be doing good business. She's selling like many of these contracts throughout the day.
What? Just a quick question. If I try to steal something off someone, is that a sleight of hand?
Yes, it's a sleight of hand to remove something from somebody without them noticing. It's versus their perception, I believe.
Okay, I do not have any ranks of sleight of hand, so...
It's trained only, so you can't even try. I guess can you not even like steal something?
I guess I didn't learn it.
Yeah, it seems odd that you can't try to steal without it. I mean, obviously it would go badly for you, but
yeah.
You can just make a dex check to try to take something from somebody. But yeah, if you want to steal, it's sleight of hand.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So again, she's barking there for hours, and she's just moving from auction table to auction table. And she seems like she's doing good business, and she's pocketing all these gold coins.
Okay.
And
I'll just continue to watch.
Okay.
I just want to see... Basically, I'm trying to see what a typical day is for her.
Yep. So after several hours, the sun begins to go down, and the auction floor doesn't really clear, but it's beginning to slow down enough that it's obvious that the day's winding down. And
Okay.
she begins walking away. And she... Let me see where she walks to. Yeah, she begins walking north. So she leaves Lip Crack. She is walking north like this. And you are
Okay.
following
Okay.
her again?
Yep, 100 feet.
100 feet? Okay, make your stealth check.
Not bad.
Okay?
It's much more hilarious when you fail rolls, eh?
Yes. Generally, it's they're funnier. So yeah, so she begins walking like this. And so you're walking behind her. And she loops back a bit. She goes down this. She came up and around, and then loops back down here.
Okay.
You're gonna continue to follow her.
I'm gonna pause here and see what she's doing.
So you're still gonna get like 100 feet away so you can see what's going on.
Yeah, I'll be at the tip of this street, basically.
Okay. Make another stealth check there.
I am literally right behind her.
They're big streets. All right, so you watch as she walks over, and she seems to just talk to a group of human women, and she
Okay.
walks away. She begins walking towards you. Out, like it's basically like you can see it's kind of like a court, so she walks back out.
Okay. I will just hide in houses or something.
Okay, so yeah, so you run behind a building, and she begins walking again up like this. Up and away. I guess you guys should really be smaller. It'd be easier if you guys were smaller.
Okay, I'll keep following, but I'll note on the map where I saw this conversation.
Okay, you saw a conversation here. I
Yeah.
guess I should write a little text blob so we remember what that circle means later. Okay, conversation with Barrister. All right. And you're going to continue to follow her?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me another perception check. Or
Perception?
stealth. Yeah, that was it. She makes those.
Oh, we're getting worse.
Okay. And she begins walking to the south over here, towards Sorrow side.
Do I get the impression she's walking aimlessly?
Make a sense motive check. No, you do not get the impression she's walking aimlessly. She seems to be moving with a purpose.
Okay. Okay, I'll keep following.
Okay. And she begins moving like this, and then back up like this. And you're behind her, like over here. And you see her kneel down, and she begins talking to a child on the street.
Tiefling or?
No, a human child.
Okay, I'll note it.
Okay. And make another one of those stealthy checks, and she's going to continue walking.
I'm gonna go around. Do I know the layout of this place really well?
You know Agorian pretty well, not specifically this area, but the city by large. Why? What specifically are you looking for?
I'm following her directly. I'm gonna go around this way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you pop into this area.
And I'll just hide.
Yeah. And as you're walking there, you notice that she's moving northward like that. My grid is kind of weird. I'm kind of moving around weird. But she's moving like that, and the child goes north up this street.
Okay. Shit. Okay, I'm gonna follow that kid. I am going to follow that kid.
Okay. So you lose the lady. And the kid goes up to here.
Okay.
You're following. I don't have a kid token, but let's use you. And the kid walks into a building over here.
Okay. Okay, I'll just wait outside the building.
Okay. He comes out about 10 minutes later.
Okay. Is it nighttime?
It's dinner time now, so it's getting to be. It's not like dark yet, but it's basically sunsetting.
Okay. Which way does he go?
He goes back to where he was. Basically, he begins heading south, so he walks around like this and back down.
Okay, so I'm gonna about here, let's say.
Okay.
And I'll say, "Hey, buddy."
And he looks up at you and says, "Hello, who are you?"
Hi. What's your name?
And he looks at you, and he shakes his head. Who are you?
Oh, I'm just a friend. My name's Bob. Hey, listen, I found a bunch of gold. If you want one, I have extra.
You found a bunch of gold?
How old is this damn kid? Is he being a smartass or something?
No, he seems confused. He's like he may be 12.
Okay. So he's old enough. So he says, yeah. Listen, I'll trade you this gold if you share some things with me.
He looks scared. What do you mean?
He's like, what were you doing in that building?
And he looks very afraid now. And he is going to turn and try to run away from you.
I am going to grab him.
Okay. Make a combat maneuver check.
I am grabbing that child. I don't button.
It's above PC weapons. Do you have buttons now, or no?
Yeah, hang on.
It's like
View.
It's a white hand punching a black hand with a purple background.
It's under window. Which one?
Offense. Near the PC weapons, above that.
Window offense. Oh, I see. Black hand punching
the white hand punching a black hand, like, no. Oh, yeah. That's not one of the ones I fixed. Fantastic. All right. But yeah, you got a 22. Yes, you grab that kid. That's like no contest. So he goes to run away, and you grab him, and you got him in a grapple. What do you do?
Oh, just grab him by like the back of his coat or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Or his lapel, take him and do an alley and say, listen, like, I'm not trying to beat you up or anything. I'm just asking you a question. And he'll give him a gold. And he'll say, like, here. What were you doing in there?
I was just talking to people. I was delivering a message.
Of what's the message?
Again, he looks terrified of you. He's like, why? Who are you?
What is the message?
Make an intimidate check.
And he intimidates him. Yeah.
That is one of the ones I fixed. All right. Yeah. So yeah, he's terrified of you. It was just the barrister said she was being followed. That's all it was. I'd say those words.
Do you talk to her often?
I have no idea who she is. Is she the barrister?
I guess so. I don't know. To be honest, I'm figuring that out too. He's like,
he seems terrified and confused.
He says, like, just relax. This is not, you're going to be okay. Who's in that building? What type of people?
Bunch of people like you.
Halflings.
Nods.
And was it a nice place or a dirty place?
He says, "Dirty? What do you mean?" He looks confused again.
Like, is it like clean, high class, like the church, or is it like a shithole?
She says, "No, it's a warehouse."
Ooh, okay. All right. Great. Thank you. And he gives him another gold, and he says, "This conversation didn't happen, and don't tell anyone about this, or..." and he makes a face, like, or... He's like, cool.
The kid is terrified. So yeah, so he nods, he takes the money, and he runs away.
Okay. I will mark on the map where that happened.
Okay.
And then...
Okay.
And then I will go back home. I will go find my handler.
Okay. We didn't arrange anything, but let's say that he wants to meet you like every day at
the
at the Parlay Circle statue. So yeah, so we'll say that you can sync up with him later that night. So let's jump back to some other people while that's happening.
Sweet.
All right. So you there, Naz?
That's their tricks.
Sorry, I'm on mute. Yeah,
it's all good. It's all good. So we're back in Sonara. It is Friday morning.
Okay. First order of business is getting a proper disguise together.
Okay.
And getting some paper.
Some paper?
Yeah. Nero's basically he wants to get a proper disguise going for him and Bob to look like dudes who look like them, but not exactly them.
Okay, sure.
So he's going to do that. He wants to draw up legal contracts that basically the halflings are not to be messed with on the way to where they're going, and he's going to arrange wagon travel for Lissy and whoever wants to go.
Okay. And you specifically noted that was legally half-assed but promising.
Yes.
You called them
basically
Nero papers to ensure their freedom.
Right.
So my one question is, does the paperwork specifically cite an owner of the slaves? Or like, what does the paper say, effectively?
It'll have something like in stewardship of... So something that isn't committal in terms of like, I own these people, but also is like, basically they're going to be going somewhere. And Nero's going to entrust them with these papers and be like, don't show anyone these papers unless you get hassled by Empire people on the road. And basically you're going to take a wagon, you're going to go through the forest, and you're going to end up in Cantaria, and you're going to just stay in the manor. You're going to confer with the halflings there.
Okay. And are you arranging travel, or are you handing the halflings a bunch of money? Okay.
He's basically going to figure out he's going to talk to them and see what's better as the day wears on today.
Okay. So just to be clear, you're in Sonara over here, and you can use the measuring tool. Like I said, I made the scale accurate.
It's far, yeah.
Yeah, it's far, and it's also over a lot of land where there's no real road. So the way to Sonar or from Sonara to Cantaria actually goes down either the river or the wagon here. To basically, you get to like Remisiana or Longacre, and you head over to Dakarium. That's kind of the way you came, and you take either a riverboat or the road up to Cantaria. So you're passing through Longacre, and if you propose that, the slaves are going to ask, like, why can't we just go to Longacre?
As far as well, basically what he would tell them at the end of the day after they've done scoping out and stuff like that is that basically as far as I know, Fex ran into trouble at the gate and he's not at the manor house.
Truth. He says, but that's Master's, estate. Master's estate is there. We could simply go back to his manor there. We'll wait his return.
You could. What happens if, as far as I know, he's into something dangerous? If he doesn't return, do you want to be unprotected halflings in a backwater?
And Blissey, who's basically speaking for the halfling, seems concerned that you would say that. Is he in danger? Is he? What is this about the gate?
He's involved in some sort of dangerous dealings. You know, the stuff that all these Diabolists get up to.
Diabolists? I mean, she seems concerned. Master?
Not summoners. People who summon devils. What he does.
She nods.
They're always bargaining and trying to
sound
make better
odd to her.
deals, but yeah, just not people who summon devils don't tend to make very good deals.
And she seems concerned and scared about that. And she says,
But if you want to go to Longacre, that's fine. If you'd rather I just arrange travel to Longacre, that's fine.
Make a diplomacy check, and then basically, as you have an ongoing discussion, how pushy are you about going to Cantaria? Are you genuine that if they want to go to Longacre, you'll just send them there?
Not pushy at all. Yeah, he doesn't.
Okay.
He's trying to keep his word, but he doesn't know that they'll be. He's trying to keep his word, but he doesn't know that they'll be fully safe in Longacre, which is why he cares about it.
And how do you pitch Cantaria as an alternate destination? What do you say about it?
He basically tells them about the halfling settlement there, and about how he's protected them by loosely owning them, but that he doesn't have any reign on the halflings there whatsoever.
Okay. Go ahead and make a diplomacy check. I moved you to the other map there.
Sure.
Yeah,
but I don't. Literally, he doesn't care if they want to go to Longacre. That's fine.
Okay.
And he would pitch it that way. If you want to go to Longacre, that's totally fine.
Yeah. So you make a really good. Discussion about it, and you can tell that the halflings actually go back and forth a little bit. But the majority of them do. They seem like they're more comfortable just being slaves. Like they've lived this way. They live very well in the manor. They feel that if they wait for Master in the manor, their lives will be the same. So that they want to go to Longacre. They've decided.
That's fine.
All right. So if you want to send them by wagon to Longacre, it's like 200 miles, and it's 3 copper per halfling per mile on land. So
we'll figure it out later. Basically, he wants them to scope out for the day, figure out what they can find out about the reclamation, like be invisible ears in the north.
Okay.
And then
sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he'll just send them on their way. This is more like this. There's not some grand scheme here that he's just keeping his word.
Fair enough. It's only like 100 gold. If you want to send them all the way to Kantara, it'd be like 500 gold.
Fine.
But yeah, so it's 100 gold, and as you're arranging travel, the guy asks you kind of jokingly if these slips are special, because you could buy 4 of them anywhere for that. Like, he's curious why you're shipping to Longacre.
Because my family's from Longacre.
Oh, so and these are yours. What are they doing here? Why are they going home?
So this is the wagon guy?
Yeah. You're arranging transport. He's making conversation.
They wanna go home to Longacre. Longacre is where their old master was from. Where their master's from, that's where they want to go. So I'm just arranging travel because I'm a friend of their. My family knows his family, and that's what they want. I'm happy to oblige them.
He shrugs. Says, "All right." He takes your money, and he arranges for a wagon for 18 halflings. to go from Sonara to Longacre. All right. So that's going to happen like tomorrow morning or whatever, the actual shipping, because you want them busy today. You're giving them jobs.
Yes, correct.
So you're sending them mostly to the High District, or where?
Mostly the High District, and like have some in the Low District just finding out what happened, and basically be listening for any sort of violence or thuggery that went on with, and he'll give a loose description of the tieflings.
Okay. So I'm gonna make some secret diplomacy checks, or I'll just roll like secret d20s, I guess, because they're gathering information. All right. One really good roll, and a mediocre one, and two terrible ones. All right. So Sonara. So in the High District, they do decently well in the High District. One of them over here is a bunch of low-level soldiers that sound more confused and curious than anything else. They don't seem to know what happened, but it sounds like something big happened the day before. They're not sure what's going on. They also hear that some Thrun loyalists executed some sort of surgical strike in the area, and that 2 celestial allies of the Glorious Reclamation were killed. They don't say what or how, but they say that there was some sort of weird, like, surgical strike executed by Thrun loyalists that did something. There's also rumors that the Tieflings were involved, that the Children of the Pit were somehow involved in this strike. And one overheard 2 scribe-looking men grumbling about the books being missing. And the halfling has no idea what they were talking about, but it sounded important the way they were griping about them. In the Low District, they did pretty badly. And they ask around and mostly get told to mind their own business. They begin asking like specific questions, kind of bluntly about, did anything happen violent last night? And I'm looking for tieflings that look like this. And they basically get told to mind their own business and stay out of our way. And that's what they get. All right, so that's most of your morning and afternoon. Anything else you want to do with your day?
Nero wanted to get to the scroll shop if possible, or see if there's any word about like any major casters that might have sort of beat the purge.
Okay, so how are you going about the looking for casters? What exactly are you doing to do that?
So he'll basically ask at the scroll shop. You know, I need to move some things. You know, nothing illegal, but you know, I need somebody who could cast a spell. I don't know who around here is talented enough to do it.
Yeah, so that's more of a question for the High District. So you ask around in the Low District, and everybody tells you pretty much the same thing, that anybody that could do that was basically, they left town when the Glorious Reclamation took over, or they've been run out since. Most of the spellcasters here are Diabloists, and the Glorious Reclamation did not take kindly to them surviving. Like in the initial occupation, there was some leeway where they tried to do some diplomacy and stuff like that, but it became clear that those Diabloists were so loyal to Thrun that it just would not work out. So they were either hunted down and killed or just driven out of town. And they tell you that your best bet would be with the Tieflings. Like there might be some Diabloists amongst them that are still around. Make a diplomacy check. Oh, damn, dog.
That's a threat.
Yeah, okay, well, can't say no to that. So yeah, in particular, you hear about a tiefling warlock named Ressy. R-E-S-S-Y.
What does warlock mean? Does that mean specifically that they're just some sort of like arcane caster, or is that?
Yeah, it's
not a class.
It's not an actual D&D class, but it's like an arcane caster. And you hear that he's a tiefling caster that specializes in fire, and he would probably be. You rolled extremely well, actually. Yeah, so you do hear that Ressy is involved with the Children of the Pit, and rumor is that he has been bringing tieflings from throughout Cheliax into Sonara with teleportation magic.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so you find that out in the low district, and you head to the high district. I'll take Nero and move Nero around. So you head into the high district, and you're asking...
Can we, should we roll disguise stuff?
Sure, go ahead. And Bob is with you the whole time?
I imagine Bob's going to want to come with me, yeah? Or do you want me to go solo, Bob?
No, I'm going. I'm your muscles.
Okay.
So both make disguise E-checks then.
Yeah.
What did you do specifically with the disguise? Like you said you wanted to get stuff together. Did you want to actually do anything? Damn, boob.
Like, get a disguise kit and just basically, make Bob's armor not look like it's hellplate. Like, basically slap a coat of whitewash on it that'll come off later. And, not be walking around in gray cloaks, so probably be walking around in something that's a color.
Okay. Yeah, that's easy enough. You get a bonus on your check then, and you're probably both fine unless somebody has really good eyes. I'm tempted to make Bob's head start like an anvil for putting white paint on his armor. But... So Bob, what are you doing? You're just following around. You're letting Nero do all the talking and all. You're just following him like a dog. What's happening?
Yeah, I'm pretty much just following him, waiting for him to say it's time to crush a skull.
Okay.
All
right.
Bob wants to do Bob shit, but Bob thinks I'm outgunned right now, specifically without having Vors with me.
Oh, Vors is the guns.
Well, Vors he's literally the ranged weapon.
All right. So Nero, you make it through, and you and Bob are going to the Sphinx's Quill, which is the scroll shop.
Mm-hmm.
And you go inside, and the purveyor greets you. It's the same guy that you met before. He only vaguely remembers you. He looks at you as if he remembers you, but doesn't really remember you. He says, "Can I help you?"
Well, I need some scrolls. I need a divine scroll, and maybe an arcane scroll, or eyes on someone who could cast an arcane spell for me.
He says, "Certainly. What would you be having? What type of scrolls do you need?"
I need a lesser planar binding.
And he looks at you as if that's an interesting suggestion. And
I need a lantern archon to do some surveying in the east.
He nods. Do you work for the church?
No. My pup comes from someplace else, but.
He sighs. Says, "Oh, there's a discount for the church. That's too bad." And he said he gestures to the halfling. I don't know. That's a 4th level spell, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. He gestures to the halfling, but he doesn't run off just yet. And he says, "And arcane. What else would you need?"
So I need to travel to get work done, but I don't have time to be on the road for weeks at a time. I was hoping that there's someone that could teleport me, or a teleportation scroll.
Okay. And he sold. How many did you buy? You only bought one, right, Dern? One teleport scroll?
One teleport, yeah.
Okay, so he has another one. So he says, "Oh, you're in luck." He says, "I just sold one of those yesterday. I don't have too many." But he says, I have a lesser teleport scroll. And he says, you need someone to cast it?
I don't know is the short answer. I mean, I might be able to find somebody, but I was hoping to find someone who could just cast it instead.
Oh, he says, not many in the church can do that. Mostly priests and paladins. Not too many wizards around.
Yeah.
And you see him thinking, and he's obviously going through a Rolodex in his head. And he says, not many of those left in Sonara, sadly. Business of arcane skulls has been really bad recently.
I noticed you say not many, but you don't say none.
He nods and he says, there are rumors. some remain supposedly, but again, very few come into the shop.
Humor me. Tell me a rumor.
Toss me another diplomacy check, because you're you.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So he tells you, rumors the tieflings have some kind of sorcerer, warlock, or something, powerful mage, but he doesn't. I've never seen him. He's never come here. But tieflings do come in to buy scrolls.
What do you hear about? What do you hear about the whole thing that's going on in the district?
Ugh, bad for business is what that is.
Yeah, I was getting looks last night. I was around about and just getting funny looks, and I've never had that happen before.
Where were you getting funny looks?
Oh, we went carousing down there, looking for a good time, and caught some bad looks for no reason.
Down there, the low district?
Yeah.
No, that's a dangerous
You
place
think
these days.
I guess. I mean, but look at the size of this guy.
He looks at him, he sizes him up, and says, "Still a dangerous place. There's quite a good number of tieflings there."
Fair. But, I've just never caught a hard time before is all, I guess.
So you're probably lucky then. And he says, after what happened last night, I watched my step down there. I wouldn't go down there at night at all.
What happened last night?
So you haven't heard? A
No.
Forest Reclamation Patrol was murdered last night.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's definitely bad for business.
they went down into the low district. I don't know what for, but like all of them, like 8 of them, were murdered.
Did they leave the bodies in the street or something? I mean, if you're going to murder somebody, that doesn't seem like a good way to do it unless you're trying to send a message.
He said they found them piled in an abandoned warehouse.
Seems sloppy, I guess. I mean, I'm not into that sort of thing, but if you were going to be into it, seems like a bad way to do it, right?
He shrugs and says, "Again, murder's just bad for business. Like I crave stability.
Yeah. Yeah,
the last
true.
thing I want here is a riot and looters at my door."
Of course. Of course. You have to use up some of your wares if there's a riot.
True enough. We have defenses,
Right.
but who knows what would happen in a
Yeah.
riot.
If it's 10 guys, it's not such a big deal. If it's 1,000, it's going to be a problem.
Fair point. And there's about, I think, 5,000 or 3,000 tieflings in Sonara. Forget.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess I'll take that and see what I can find out for myself. It's tough. It's like you said, things are bad for business here right now. I mean, what do you think of the reclamation?
He shrugs and he says, They buy a lot of the divine scrolls.
Yes.
It's money." He shrugs and says,
Upheaval.
he's like, "I don't know. I don't mind so much. It's just, it's different." And he says again, war is bad for business. This occupation has been bad for business.
Yeah.
And
Interesting.
as he said before, he basically sells very few divine scrolls these days because they've run out all of the people of note.
Okay. So, Nero will buy those 2 scrolls and look to head out. Yeah.
Teleport is 1,125 gold.
I've got it. I'll just...
All right.
Let me take it off my sheet now.
Yeah, why not? I'm putting in the loot thing.
So, 1875. I'll take it.
Sure. 1825.
1825.
Yeah, so he gestures to his halfling companion, and the halfling companion runs off and comes back with the scrolls. And he begins looking at Bob, who's just standing there, coated in alabaster, doing what?
I'm just here, man. Like Bob is not doing shit unless there's someone to crush.
You don't want to buy any scrolls, Bob?
Bob has no money. I spent all my money saving this idiot genius.
This idiot genius. Okay. All right. Yeah, so the halfling comes back with 2 scrolls in nice, we'll call them like sulfur scroll tubes, and takes them out for you to examine. And they appear genuine to you.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right. So you've got them.
Let's get.
All right.
Hey, thanks for the info.
He nods. As if he hasn't told you anything that's not public knowledge.
Sure. Yes.
What would you do after leaving the Sphinx's quill?
Probably try to get out of the high district.
Okay. You're going to head down to the low district. So you're going to head over here. Let's see if anything happens. And yeah, so you're walking back, and it's almost like it's afternoon, so it's not like super early or anything, or super late. And you're walking back to the low district, and you happen upon some glorious reclamation. Are you avoiding them, or are you following them, or what would you like to do? You see a patrol of. There is at least 6 of them.
All humans or angels or what?
You're far enough away you can't see just yet, but they're very visibly wearing the colors of the Glorious Reclamation.
They're in the low district?
They are in the low district.
You're
basically here, and you see them like walking south. Like you're kind of you caught up to them, and they appear to be like walking like this.
Okay, so we're just gonna slow roll it and not stir up a fuss.
Okay, but still follow them in the same direction.
Yeah, vaguely, but yeah, go in the same direction, but not be looking to start nonsense in the middle of the day.
Okay. So give me a, I guess a sense motive check. Both of you can make a sense motive check. Bob, you're free to start nonsense at any time.
It's true.
Yeah, so you're following them pretty far away, and you're not sure what's going on, and it takes you longer than you would want to realize that they're basically heading right to where your inn was. So you're following them, and you're not putting the pieces together. And then pretty much when you're right down the street, you watch as they're heading directly towards where you have a room last night.
Last night?
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's go somewhere else.
Okay.
Unless, I don't know, Bob. It seems like bad business to stir up trouble. We should go somewhere else, yeah?
I'm not going to disagree with you.
All right.
But I'd love to murder something.
Let's
want to go out into the woods, fight a bear or something.
Let's go to Seal. What's her face, and see if she can.
Generva.
What's the old lady's name? The lady who buys the meats.
Generva.
Let's see if Generva knows a good place we can lay low.
I love salami.
General.
Yeah, so you head over. Your head's over to it was over here. I think it was like on the water, it's like over there. And you find Generva. And she's in the same place. She doesn't hide. Like, everyone knows who she is, and she operates in the same area every day. So it's easy to find her. And what are you looking to do?
I need to lay low a little bit. We may have gotten overzealous in some of our transactions recently.
She looks at you curiously, like, low? How low?
Reasonably low.
She's low, like Warehouse, low, like... She gestures, and says, pocket?
Ah, I hadn't thought of that. That's interesting. Is that something you could arrange for something like overnight?
She says, yes, it's very expensive.
Fine, very.
She looks you up and down. She says, 2,000.
That is very. All right, well, let me get back to you on that, but that's good to know that that's an option. You'll be here if I need to come back in reasonably near?
Yeah, she nods.
Okay. Okay. Have you heard anything about this this warlock?
Make a diplomacy. Is Clara okay? Is she feeling any better?
She's better, but yeah, it still has some cough residual.
Sounds bad.
Yeah. Sounds
Better. Trust me, it's better.
So you're asking her about the tiefling warlock.
It was with an R. What was his name? I forget.
I need that better. Like Resi.
Resi?
Resi. It's in there. Yeah.
Resi. So you ask her about Resi, and she already likes you. She's done business with you, and you know who what she is basically, and she seems okay with you, and you rolled very well. Yeah. So she nods and says, "Oh, only little. Why you ask?"
You know, if what's going on has to get me out of town, then I'd like to know someone who can do it.
She nods and says, he probably do it. He probably could.
All right. Well, I guess I'll be on the lookout.
She nods and says, he sound like big deal. Don't know much, but powerful. Fire. Lots of fire.
Do you know if he's associated with any of the old gang that Yalam and the rest of the gang from the Black Feathers?
He shakes his head and says, he knew. He knew. Like, never heard of him before a couple of weeks ago.
Okay. But none of the other ones are tied up with him that you know of.
She shakes her head, no.
Okay. Fair enough. I'll be back.
She nods. Alright. What else do you want to do? It's evening time now.
Well, I'm going to look and see how much teleport, use magic devices for teleport.
You're gonna roll the bones.
Well, I mean, if the bones are favorable, yeah, he might, but...
It's an expensive gamble. Is it worth it? Emulate a class feature is a DC 20. You have presumably the ability to score okay. Decipher use a scroll's 20 plus caster level. And you would also emulate a class feature. Do you have to add those up, or how does that work?
Do you have to emulate a class feature, or do you just...
You have to be a wizard if you're not a wizard, right? You have to pretend to be a wizard if you're using a cross-class scroll, right? Or is it just... Or does use a scroll do that automatically? Let me see.
I think that's what it is. I don't think it's in
yeah, maybe you're right. It says normally
range anyway,
spell from
but...
a scroll, you must use this, have it on your spell list. Use magic device allows you to use a scroll as if you had a particular spell on your class's spell list. It's 20 plus your caster level. In addition, casting a spell requires minimum score in the appropriate ability. You would have that. If you don't have sufficient score, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I think it's just 20 plus the caster level of the spell, and the caster level of teleport is... It's it's whatever a 5th level wizard spell is.
Well, it's going to be 9th level, so it'll be 29.
Yes, that's a 29. use magic device.
And I don't think you can take 20 on activating a scroll, correct?
Nope, you can take 10, but you cannot take 20. Oh no, it says specifically you can't take 10 either. And you can't aid another. Yeah, so you gotta roll it, and you get a 29. I don't know what Nero has, but...
And I forget what happens when you miss on the scroll.
You have a 9, so you'd have to roll a 20.
I have more than that. I use magic device, don't I?
Not on your sheet, you don't.
Oh, I'm looking at a spellcraft. That's why.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so you put in 2 ranks.
Okay. So that's not happening. So yeah, let's
Alright.
see what we can do to find Rusty, I guess.
Yeah? You searching for Resi?
Yeah. So basically, if there's no patrols looking for us, we'll go back to the bar and see what's going on.
Okay. Yeah, so you kind of lay low for a while, making sure that nothing happens. And then content that the glorious reclamation are probably gone, you head back to the bar, because the bar you were at is kind of like nearby, basically. I think it was over here or whatever. So yeah, so you move close, and you basically are convinced that the glorious reclamation are already gone after a couple of hours, and you head into the bar. And those 4 tieflings that were there before are no longer there, but there are just a myriad of other tieflings in the bar. It's again, it seems like kind of requisite to the population, or relevant to the population. It's about a third of the room is tieflings.
Okay. No other thug type?
There are some sluggish looking dudes, but none of the guys you saw yesterday.
So Nero will buy those dudes and see if any of them know that gang that was around yesterday.
Are you asking if they know? I forgot his name already.
Ermis, but no, I was gonna say basically if they, hey, yeah, that shit that went down last night, was that the children of the pit?
Toss a diplomacy check, and you're you.
Sure.
So you're gonna ace it, because I don't even know what your bonus is. It's 21. You have to roll really badly to, even if you, yeah, Jesus, okay. Even if you rolled a 1, you'd still have like a 22 on it, which is amazing. Yeah, so you ask around, and you get a bunch of people that just don't seem to want to talk about it, but you rolled well enough that there are a couple in the bar that like nods, like, yeah, we heard it was. We heard the children of the pit were in on that. They got 8 of them, they said. 8 glorious reclamation.
That's real. That's what I heard in the High District as well. That's crazy.
Talking about it in the High District? That's awesome. And one guy seems like particularly happy about it. They should be. They should be afraid. Shit's getting real.
Apparently. How do you get in contact with those guys? How does anyone get in contact with those guys, I guess?
I mean, they're everywhere. Just talk loudly enough and they'll hear you. And one of them scoffs at you.
Interesting. Well, I imagine they wouldn't be looking for someone like me, you know what I mean?
He nods. He says, you're probably right. He says, why? What business do you have with them? What are you looking for?
I'm just, I'd be looking for a caster. I just need an errand, basically, and I'd be indebted, I guess.
He nods. There's a bunch of sorcerers in that crew. A bunch of them. What kind of errand? What do you mean?
I need somebody to cast a scroll for me.
He nods and says, you could definitely find one. You ask around. They lay low because the glorious reclamation's hunting sorcerers, but they're around.
Good stuff. And Nero will basically buy enough that guy's probably going to get blackout tonight.
Okay. Yeah, he's not suspicious, and if you're buying, he's drinking. So yeah,
Sure.
So you're getting him good and drunk. And what do you do? What's your move after he's drunk? It's now evening.
I mean, we got to ask around, I guess. Go somewhere and ask around. Get the hell out of here.
Okay. It's true in the world, man. If someone's buying, you're drinking. It's Jirog's comment. Like, it's a comic campaign. It's in the world. People will drink for free.
True, yeah.
Yeah. So this guy, he agrees with you. He's getting really chummy with you over the course of the night. And Bob, are you drinking with them?
Yeah.
Are you keeping up with this guy? Are you getting drunk, or is Nero going to stop you from getting drunk?
Nero will, I mean, if I get too drunk, he can always, cast respiration or whatever.
It's true.
Pretty much, yeah.
Casting spells again, you have to speak clearly and loudly. Like you have to say like Alakazam or Sim Sim Salabim really loudly. It's obvious that you're casting magic, so you can't just like whisper and tap you on the shoulder and you're not drunk anymore.
Bob should have a really high tolerance, being he's a bigger dude and drinks constantly.
That's true, Bob. Why don't you make 2 fortitude saves, Bobbert?
I don't know. Why would you do this to me?
It's fine. You're over there.
It's fine.
It's fine. Yes, you're a monster. You're fine. Yeah, so you're crushing it all night. And Nero's doing most of the talking, but he's kind of nursing his beers. But you and this tiefling are just you're going at it, and you're fine. So you got a good buzz going, but you're not like sloppy drunk like him. This guy is getting sloppy drunk. And he's getting really chummy with Nero. And he's nodding along with like, yeah. What do you want to do? Where you want to go?
Man, I gotta go. But I mean, where do you think I should? If I wanted to find somebody, where do you think I should go?
He says, I heard in the southwest, the southeast, and he's nodding. He's like, there's all kinds of rundown buildings. I heard they do something out of there, and he kind of gestures around near the old Fabrio building.
Okay. Well, let's do it.
He's like, I'm not looking to get hurt. I'm not getting in any trouble.
No, you stay here, man. I'm out.
Okay, so he nods, and he's very happy to be back at the bar. And Nero, you're going down there?
I mean, Bob, ideas?
I mean, Bob's down to do. Bob, I'll go.
Okay, so maybe we should get another room for the night somewhere. And maybe down toward that way.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
Okay, so let's get a room.
Sure. I'll do another circle. So let me X out that old one. Now you got a room over here near the graveyard.
Do you want to say that Nero tries to summon a Lantern Archon here, and we'll just work it out during the week?
Sure. So Nero summons Lantern Archon. All right. Should we just do it during the week like you said, or is it important to do stuff now, or what?
It doesn't matter. I just am trying to be expeditious in case we're trying to move things along. Basically, he wants to send the Lantern Archon to find Ivan, pretty much.
Okay. How do you plan to do that?
He's gonna write a letter. He's gonna give it to the Lantern Archon to deliver to someone matching Iwan's description. Mm-hmm. And then he's basically going to tell it to try to teleport into the room in the building. He's going to describe that building and describe where the room is. Mm-hmm. And tell it to try to teleport in there. Then it'll be shunted to somewhere else. He wants it to deliver the note and then fly its way out of there, figure out where it is, and then teleport back to the place in Igorian and just basically report it to someone matching Vor's or Dern's description.
Okay. Yeah.
No violence. Avoid combat at all costs. Mm-hmm. And just do your job and get out.
Okay. We will resolve that during the week so we can do this talking to tieflings, perhaps.
Sure.
What do we have? Like 35 minutes. All right. So you get a room for the night. You do your Lantern Archon summoning, and that would take time. So as that's happening, your Lantern Archon poofs away. And are you going to wait for a while, or are you just going to try to find tieflings?
I mean, I would imagine that we probably get out there, like go to a bar and just basically ask around a bit.
Okay.
Sort of like undercover ask about it.
difficult to undercover ask about it because the first bar you walk into is almost exclusively tieflings. This is the first time you've ever seen that. You walk into a bar and it's just dozens of tieflings, and they all look up at you when you walk in.
Private club or?
And the one closest to you just kind of shakes his head, but you can tell like everybody is staring at you. Like it's not a private club, but it seems odd that you're here.
All right. Well, we're here to drink with the best of them, I guess, and he'll go to the bar.
Okay. So you get to the bar, and the bartender is stoic and surly at the same time, and he looks at you and just sizes you up and says, "Yeah."
Beer, man, just like everybody else.
Okay, so he puts it on the table and he slams it down on the thing, and he also looks at Bob. Are you also drinking, Mr. Bobbert?
You don't need to ask if Bob's drinking, dude. You know Bob's.
Fine, yeah. So he slams another one down on the table, and he pours it in. And he makes almost no conversation, just kind of grunts and single word responses.
Bob will grunt back.
Yeah, good grunting. Good roll time. Good nodding.
Sympathetic grunt.
Just.
Yeah. So most of the bar has stopped staring at you, but you're definitely feeling looks. Like every once in a while, you glance around, and you can tell that people are like sizing you up and seeing what's up.
Any familiar faces?
Yes. You see two of the thugs, not the guy you didn't like or didn't like you.
Yeah.
But you see two of the thugs from last night in the bar.
Nero gets a couple more big drinks and heads on over.
All right. You go over and you see that some of them have like bandages on their arms, and as if they're like they look battle weary.
Gentlemen.
One of them looks up, and you can tell that they're already a little drunk. He says, "You! What are you doing here?"
Was that you guys last night?
Was what? Who guys last night?
That thing with the guy, was that you guys?
What guy? Who? What are you talking about?
That business up in the north, the Low District.
You can see the guy you're talking to goes to kind of deny it, and the other guy just kind of bursts in and says, "Yeah, what of it?"
Hey man, respect. That's not easy doings. What do your arms look like under there?
Gestures, and you can tell like they're like bloody bandages. He's like, "It'll be fine. It'll be fine, I guess. Cut up a bit." You know, Ibedaeans and their fucking swords.
Would you like it to be fine faster?
Oh, and now they're remembering that you're an Asmodean priest-ish person. It's like, oh, you do that?
Sure.
He says, sure. And he gestures like, go ahead. And he begins like undoing the bandage so you can see the wound clearer.
Okay. So Nero will just sort of like in the loud bar be healing them up and talking smack and basically like eventually broach the subject of I need to get somebody to get me out of town. You think that's possible?
Yeah. So as you begin casting, some people we get one person stands up and a lot of people turn around to you, but the two of them gesture like this is fine. It's fine. And presumably you took out your Asmodean holy symbol, so people are a bit calmer about it. You're a devil priest, despite being a human. And so again, you're getting some stares, but nothing too bad. And you ask them that you need to get out of town.
I mean, I'd like to.
He's like, you looking to breach the wall or what?
I mean, I'm looking to find somebody who can cast a scroll for me.
Oh.
I need to get far away.
You see him look. He looks again. He's too drunk to be sly. So you see him look for a while, and he nods. Says, "Yeah, I know a guy. What kind of scroll?"
I mean, I've got the scroll. I just need to get somebody to cast it. I'm not skilled enough.
He nods. Says, "There's a devil mage. You mean like a sorcerer? There's a devil mage."
All right, well, how do I do it, man?
It's not like just come here, and he's getting kind of chummy with you again. So he puts his arm around you because you just healed up his wounds. And he's like, just buy three more drinks.
I was gonna do that anyway, man.
Yeah, so he brings you over to the bar and he gets you to buy 3 drinks. And he takes one for himself. He makes you carry one, and he has the other one in his other hand. And he walks over to the end of the bar, and you see a tiefling in a robe. And he says, "This guy, this is the guy." So it's a bald tiefling with no horns. And he's got like purple skin. This is the guy. And the tiefling looks up as if he's mortified to be identified. And he says, "Come on, Charu, what?" And Charu looks up and says, "What have you told this person?"
I'm sorry, man. I need somebody to cast a scroll, and I patched him up a little bit, so I think he's passing me on to you.
He looks at you curiously. A scroll? What do you mean?
I need to go to Igorian, and I need to go fast, so I had to pick up a scroll. I'm not talented in that way.
He looks around and he gets kind of quiet. He gets in close, and he says, "I can try, but I can't guarantee that I can cast it."
So, I mean, how close are we talking about with trying? Are you going to blow me up?
I don't
want to strand you in Igorian.
That's true too, because you have to go with them. You can't just teleport other people. That's a valid point. Let me see. Let me check how close. I'm pretty sure he won't blow you up, but let me see how that works.
Names for those guys whenever, just so we have dudes to refer to those tieflings when you get them in an A and B or whatever. Abel and Baker.
I'm gonna write Abel and Baker just for fun.
Just for the future.
Abel and Baker and Charu.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. So, scroll. You need to make what?
It's on your list. It's considerably easier, but
yeah,
it ain't perfect.
Guide type for the writing. Activate the scroll. It is a DC is the scroll's caster level +1. So it's a 9. It's a 10. So it's a caster level check. So yeah. So he says he probably won't blow you up. Probably, but I've never done anything like that. Never teleported before.
Well, I mean, I'm not trying to strand you in Igorian, though.
He's like, I don't think I'd be stranded. I think I could find my way back.
Okay.
He says that I could get Ressi would find me. Maybe I could do some recruiting for him while I'm out there.
I mean, have you thought about getting a patron in Igorian? Shit, I'd be interested in helping you guys out.
Patron? What do you mean?
I mean, you're gonna need supplies for what everyone's doing, right?
So you're
gonna need supplies. You're gonna need bodies.
It's like we run the low district now.
You do, but you could be booting people out of the high district.
He nods. We will in time. Glorious Reclamation's got that now, but not forever.
Well, I'd be interested in helping out or making a plea for you at court. So just keep that in mind.
Okay. So Nero would know, and this guy would basically tell you, let's see how much it would cost to do a spell casting of a spell like that. Caster level, spell level, times 10. So yeah, he'd be looking at... He's looking for like 1,000 gold. He's like, I can try for 1,000 gold.
Come on, man, 1,000 gold?
He's like, that's the going rate. What do you want?
That's the going rate if I don't give you the scroll. That's the going rate if you're casting it for me.
And I still gotta cast it. He jokes says I can blow myself up, and I gotta get back.
That's true, but you just said somebody will pick you up.
He says maybe.
Whatever his name is, Rusi?
If it's worth his time, he scoffs. And he takes that beer he was offered.
Huh.
And he looks again at Abel, who brought you over, and he's like, he's shaking his head like, why did you bring this rube over here to talk to me about this? He's like, I can do it 1,000 gold if you want. I could get you to Agorian. I give it a shot.
1,000's rough, man. What about 250?
Ooh, that's diplomacy check. That's real low though. That's a pretty good roll. Not great, but pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's like, he scoffs at you. He says, come on, really? 250? What if I get stuck there? That doesn't even cover a wagon back.
Come on, man. I could go find somebody in the High District to cast
He
it
scoffs.
for me.
Who
And
are you
they'll-
going to find in the High District? Ain't nobody left in the High District.
I'll find some rube in the High District.
So he says 750.
750. Tell you what, I could nickel and dime you and try to get to 500. What if we called it 600?
He nods, and he says, "No promises. I'll try."
I'm paying you to get me there. So if you blow me up, I'm not paying you 600 gold.
Okay, fair point. Yeah, so he seems unhappy with that, but accepting. And I just dropped a tiefling sorcerer on the map over here.
Yeah, that's fine. So he'll basically he'll work something out where I would still pay you if you blow me up, but I'm not paying you going rate.
Fair enough.
And if you get me there, I'll see about getting you home when I get my friend back who can cast it.
Okay. And if he fails, does the scroll, is it destroyed, or is it only destroyed on a crit fail, or what happened? What is it?
I think it's only destroyed on a mishap, but I'm not sure.
Scroll of a cast level +1, so it's a DC 10. If he fails, there must be DC 5 Wisdom check to make a scroll to avoid a scroll mishap. If the cast level fails with no miss, the scroll is not expended. Okay, yeah. Okay. Then yeah. So as long as he doesn't.
What am I thinking my risk is here? How bad is this going to be?
Are you asking him, or are you guessing?
I'm guessing.
He doesn't appear to be a super powerful sorcerer. So, okay, it's a DC 5 Wisdom check to avoid a mishap. So basically, it's a 1.
You have a 1 in 4 chance if he's got crap
so
wisdom.
He's probably got a better than 50-50 chance to make the check in the first place. And then if he fails, it's a 1 in 4 check to not blow up.
Okay.
And also, blowing up is what we say, but other things happen in a scroll mishap. He could teleport random people in this bar to Agorian.
Yes. Is he drunk?
He is a little drunk, yes.
You want me to meet you here tomorrow? Do it tomorrow? Want to clean you up before we try?
It's if that's what you want, whatever.
All right, let me talk to these guys over here, get some deets. I'll clean you up, and then we'll go. Okay?
He nods and he begins drinking the beer you bought him.
Okay. So Nero's basically going to apply them for deets on what exactly happened last night.
The one you got chummy with is rather talkative, and he basically tells you that the Glorious Reclamation came down south. They heard word, and presumably that girl that you saw run into the bar told them about it. They don't know why they came down, but they heard word, and they basically set up an ambush, and they jumped the Glorious Reclamation. And they said they lost 2, but they killed 8, so that's a fair enough trade.
Interesting. I'm surprised you guys didn't spring them out, send a message, but hey man, I heard they got found pretty quick.
He nods, says, wasn't my call. We just laid him out. We laid him out and we got away as quick as we could.
Fair enough. Alright. Anybody else busted up? Like any of the rest of them here?
He shakes his head. None that I know of. We don't work like that. And he just says,
No worries.
Yeah.
Sorry, man. You were saying?
No, that was it.
Alright. Well, no worries. Alright,
You want me to try to arrange some? I guess Hermes doesn't really want you guys to have any patronage from court. See what everyone wants?
That doesn't much matter.
Because, I mean, you guys could be storming the north if you had enough support, you would think, right?
He nods.
I'm not a nobody, but I'm pretty close to a nobody. I could see what I could do for you. I promise I'll do my best to see if I can help you guys.
Okay. Yeah, so he seems happy with that. Like he seems like he supports the idea of getting support from outside of Sonara. He's like, what form would that take? What are you talking about?
War costs money, war needs supplies, war needs bodies, you know, there's let's be clear, without speaking in any certain terms. This fellow and I have seen more than our fair share of patrols, shall we say, and had no problems. All the four of our normal gang has all gotten this far.
Okay. Yeah, he seems happy with that. He's like, we could always use money. He says, it's going well so far, but yeah, perhaps some support from the court. He says, what was the guy's name? You know it better than I do, apparently. What was the guy's name that didn't like?
Jesse?
No.
Oh, Hermes.
Yeah, Hermes. He says,
like Thermos, yeah.
Yeah, like Thermos. He says, Hermes is concerned. He doesn't want humans coming in after this and just taking the place back. He's like, I don't mind support though, as long as, you know, if we can build something here, I'm interested in that.
I did a lot of the organizing in Cantaria. I don't know if you heard any about that.
He shakes his head. He has no idea.
See if some of your other guys, what was Charlie talking about, Russell or whatever? See if any of them have heard about what happened in Cantaria.
He nods. He's like, I'll ask around.
Yeah. So anyway, I'll see you when I see you.
Sure. All right. And as you do that, you get up and you're. What are you doing? You gonna leave? You going back to the sorcerer?
Gonna go back to the sorcerer. See if we can't get back to the inn and clean him up, and then see if we can oof out.
Okay. So you get to the tiefling sorcerer, clap him on the shoulder, you're getting him raised up. You go to leave, and someone walks into the bar.
Thermos.
No, it is Wami Tingles.
Oh shit.
And that's where we'll stop for the night, unless anybody has anything else. So Wami fucking Tingles walks into the bar.
Who's that?
Oh!
Just tell who's Wami Tingles, Michael?
No.
No?
He's nowhere near as funny as his real human counterpart.
You're wearing a Wingles shirt right now.
I am literally wearing a Wingle shirt right now.
So Wami is basically, when we were here last, we made a deal with them to get a hold of this precious item. They made the deal with us, and then Iwan got out on the street and made a big ruckus about how they murdered some angel. And basically, they probably got their gang busted up because Iwan ran her mouth loudly in the street and somebody snitched.
We're finally gonna crack a skull. That's what's
But
going
I don't know that I don't know that he knows that. So we'll see.
Oh, Wami's there for that reason.
He'll know that they suspected him, and presumably the Glorious Reclamation, when they stormed, said that somebody yelled that, but Iwan specifically was out of sight when she screamed that, so...
We'll see what happened, I guess.
Unless somehow the Glorious Reclamation, the random guard knew her voice.
Yeah. That's fine. Somebody randomly snitched, it's fine. We'll be fine. It's going to be bad, though.
Yeah.
With Wami?
Wami. It's a common name.
Yeah, how tough is this Wami?
He's the best.
Probably not crazy tough. Probably not crazy tough, but in a bar full of people who probably are his buddies, I mean.
And he's a bard, obviously.
Obviously, he's so handsome and charismatic.
So this whole bar, everyone's going to die is what's going to happen?
Yeah, he's gonna curse everyone to die. Yeah, they're gonna all fall over each other and die.
Oh, I know this spell. Oh, he's going to mess us up so bad.
I mean, they're all gonna have plus X to hit and damage. If he's singing or whatever Wami does. So yeah. So anything else you guys want to do or talk about? We got 15 minutes left, but this is the end of that scene, I guess. Nothing else happens in the pit. What's going on with Dern? Dern was
Probably a whole lot of shit.
Yeah, you were going to meet up with your handler, so we can do that pretty quickly. We can do that in 15 minutes. So yeah, so let's just say it's sunset now, and that's when you're supposed to meet up at Parlay Circle. And he's there, and he asks you what you've got.
He just says, I followed the barrister. Let me go to this map, sorry.
Oh, sure, I can drag you down. Oops, sorry.
He's like, I followed I followed the barrister, I met the barrister. I believe she's in cahoots with the bartender, because the bartender slipped her a secret note. She met and she had a conversation with a group of women out by Trick Alley, and then spent a bit of time walking around in circles. So I think she might have found me out at that point. But she sent a child into a warehouse in the southern point of Villagetown. And I shook the child down, and it turns out it's full of halflings living in secret.
Slaves?
That's all I got. Yeah, freed slaves or something. But she sent them a message that she was being followed through the child.
So she definitely knows then.
Yeah.
Okay. It says Villagetown. That's pretty close to the docks. Probably might be getting them out over the water.
Yeah. So, interestingly, she's also in the slaving business, so it's strange. It's a good cover, I guess.
What do you mean?
She sells like template contracts for buying slaves. I bought one. He gives them the contract.
Okay. And he looks at it. He flips through it quickly, and he says, "She's selling like a lot of these."
Yeah.
Huh.
Like hundreds, maybe.
Huh. What does she charge?
$1 or gold.
Huh. He's flipping through it. It's not too long. It maybe call like 10 pages. Huh. It seems a pretty standard boilerplate. He's just looking through it. Interesting. She sells these, but the intel that we have on her says she's working to free slaves.
He just stares at him. He's like, I'm not really the one to deduce things. So if there's a connection, I'm missing it.
Okay. So he takes the contract. Do you want the contract back? He's gesturing as if he's going to take it.
He says, "No, you can take it, but am I done?"
He says, I want to know more about this woman. I want to know more about this warehouse. You feel comfortable? You think she's made you? You think you're done?"
I'm made, yeah. You can get me a disguise. I can keep following her, but I'm made for sure. It's not often a halfling comes around town buying slave contracts, you know?
Certainly not dressed like that either. He's like, we could fix you up. We can make you look different if we need to. If you think you could follow her again.
Okay. But you know, well, how much more information do you need, really?
It's like we want to expose the whole cell. We want to find everybody she's working with. We got to find, who else is she talking to? Where is this warehouse lead to? Where is going on? What would she have done if she didn't make you? Maybe you should have went somewhere else.
Okay. I'm not really the one for all this kind of espionage, but yeah, I can keep going for sure.
He nods. Says, "You will. You'll do this. You'll got this." Like, you give it another day at least. And let me know what you find.
I'll give it another day. Just, can you get me a disguise, like a hat of disguise? I heard about one of those before.
Like, no, nothing like that. He's like, I'm gonna get you a fucking potato sack and some dirt to rub in your hair. You're gonna look different tomorrow. It's fine.
All right, whatever. And he waves him off.
Yeah, you wave off your slave master.
Yeah, he's like, okay.
This is an interesting relationship you have.
He says, I'll see you tomorrow.
He's like, I'll get you that disguise. I'll have it delivered to Lawgiver's Rest.
Yeah. He's like, okay, thanks.
All right, so you're gonna go back to Lawgiver's Rest, and yeah, so it's basically nighttime. What else would you do? Vors is still there.
I will check in to see how the book copying is going.
So Maggie has gone to the Temple of Asmodeus, the Midnight Temple, and she has paid some scriveners there to begin copying it. She said it's definitely going to take a couple of days, though, at the very least, and that she's only paid 2 of them, so it's not like she has like a whole giant team working on it. And the texts are quite extensive, and like I said, it's meticulous work to copy the runes correctly. But it's progressing.
He says, can we give you more money to make it go faster?
How many scriveners would you like to hire? And she says, only so many can work, but you can't copy multiple pages of a book, basically.
How much is 4?
It's not that much. It's only a couple of golds a day, I'm pretty sure. I'll check, but she says not that much. A number that's not that scary.
He says maximum limit, most number of scriveners.
Okay, she nods. Says, okay, I'll check with them again tomorrow.
He says, send the bill to him, when he points to Vors.
Okay, she nods.
And he's like, this is important. I'm pretty sure this is important.
Okay, she will do that. All right, so now Vors has 3 days to himself. And of note, this was Friday, and Friday is now over. And of note is Iwan.
Party Saturday.
Sorry?
Party Saturday.
Party Saturday. There is a dinner party tomorrow night.
Oh, that's the party.
Well, there's a dinner party tomorrow night. That you guys do not have an invitation to. And today was the day that Lavasvia told Iwan that Sethic was getting a coin delivery that she wanted intercepted. So that presumably happened today. And
so Vors would be doing that.
Well, she doesn't talk to Vors. She doesn't like Vors. But presumably he could try. Once I do a solo mission by himself, and
I mean, yeah, I get it. It wouldn't be any of us, right? We're totally. He's on the other side of the planet.
Correct.
The other two.
So we'll see what happens. But that was happening today, and she only told Iwan about it. She got really close and quiet with Iwan, and wasn't talking to the party when she said that.
This entire main campaign's going to pass us by.
That's correct. You're going to miss all of it. Fortunately, there's an entire city filled with skilled Tharun agents who will do things. So. It's fine. It's all gonna work out.
Sweet.
But yeah, that's all I got. That one even I was prepared for this to go sideways. It went even more sideways than I thought. So that's.
Wait, today went more sideways, or in general we've gone more sideways?
Today went more sideways. Well, obviously in general the campaign went extremely sideways. I expected a little of that. I didn't expect this level of it. But even today, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I got like scene 1, 2, 3. Let's do that. And I had fights planned. We didn't do any fights. So I don't know.
What fights?
Really,
What fights?
You could have followed the tieflings into that fight. You could have been part of that fight.
Oh, I mean, I would have done that, but
yeah, you could have. You and Bob could have fought.
We're gonna have to kill Wami Tingles. You know how the sounds.
Well, yeah, you're gonna have to fight Wami Tingles now. Or you could talk to him. He's a businessman.
Is the rest of that gang that was also badly named after the San Jose Sharks still around?
they've caught at least some of them.
Yes, you know for a fact that they caught some of them, specifically on the wanted posters around town. In addition to yours, like, there's one wanted poster for the party, and that's all over the place. There was also one for Wami Tingles, Yalom, and Levi. And Yalom's name was crossed out of the wanted posters, as if they had captured her and were no longer looking for her. So yeah, you believe that some of their guild was broken up, basically. You heard rumors that they raided all of the underground sewers after hearing rumors, and they had captured a large number of them, but apparently not Wami Tingles.
Of course not, Wami.
Of course not. He's a handsome man. And he looks like a human, too. He passes for human when he wears his, I think he wears a hat or something. So he passes for human.
I'm enjoying the racial undertone. It's pretty interesting.
Right? It's interesting. I don't know. You guys are going. You got like a civil war going over there now.
It actually like ended up going way more successfully than I ever anticipated. Like I thought I was gonna have to do a lot more to prod that along eventually, and I was prepared to do that. But
you can continue
like,
to do that. If you
I gotta get out of the fucking pit first. Yeah.
If you ever get out of the pit.
I don't even know what's happening.
It's true. It's extremely true.
Like I know nothing. Like,
so morals and MVP.
MVP Nas.
Why?
MVP Nas because I really liked the conversation he had in the beginning with the guy comparing the sword to the child to the silver. The guy was being convinced, and I was being convinced. And I'm like, yeah, this is true Nero, it seems.
I enjoyed Iwan's pit diplomacy as she tried to instill doubt in the angel.
Yeah, it was a good shot.
I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool when Darren was just like, "Yeah, whatever."
To the slave
To my
handler,
slave
you mean?
master.
Yeah,
Or,
to
like,
somebody that could
done
like
talking to you,
murder
sir.
him. Yeah.
or when Dern chased the pile down and like creepily shook him down for information.
We're like the same size, so it's okay.
Forgot about the child shakedown. Yeah, it was pretty good.
All right. So
Morals?
Yeah, go ahead and whisper me your MVPs, and then
Oh,
talk
shit,
about morals.
Damn it.
You
I
can
got
say it
all
out loud. I don't give a shit. It's fine.
I'll be silent just so everyone else. Sending it on.
Yeah, that's fine. You all said fucking Wami Tingles. Okay.
Yes.
All right. I'm missing one vote. I think.
It's me.
It's you. Oh, interesting. So Nero, you win.
Thanks, fellas.
Take your hero.
Hero
points.
point. Yes.
And
I'm gonna need
morals.
it.
What do you guys got?
That one.
I'm going to follow that kid. I'm going to follow that kid.
It was really funny when I was like, "Hey, I found some money." He's like, "What do you mean you found some money?" Why don't you shut up, kid, and take my money?
I believe this would... Sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna change topics, so you finish you first.
I like the one, Bob has no money. I spent all my money saving this idiot genius.
Yeah, that's pretty
Like
good.
that one.
I'm pretty much torn between that and we'll have you ditch that sword of yours and take this potato sack instead.
I don't think anybody actually said that.
Oh, right.
Like he just said that he'd give him the potato sack, but like
Potato sack and dirt. Wait, whatever the quote from that was fun.
Dirty up his hair.
I think
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Bob has no money.
Yeah.
Spent all my money saving this idiot genius. If we're gonna go with vague quotes every week.
I agree. All right, that's 2 votes. Everyone else is good.
I'm good
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Bob has no money. I spent all my money saving this idiot genius. All right, that's everything. I will stop the recording.